you like it?
Yeah, dude,
Mike's
leave
my-
it. That's you.
Mike's my
That's
my
you,
hair
bro.
expert.
Don't ask me, bro. I don't know what I'm doing.
I might die, dude. What if we both died?
Why would you die?
Just like he did it.
All right, guys, welcome to the You Are Here podcast. This is episode 13. My name is Mike.
My name's Dave.
My name's Evangeline.
No, I
Oh,
was
damn.
just introduce you.
Yeah, wow, that's messed
Well,
up, bro.
You have to.
Waited.
You
All right,
have
now
to
we gotta
leave.
wait,
You
dude.
have to leave.
You can find the podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Podbean, Google Play, what is it, Castbox, YouTube for the
Earworm.
video, Earworm, I made that up last time, and www.youareherepodcast.co. We could not afford the M. All right.
That's awesome.
And we have a wonderful, wonderful guest today,
Mm-hmm.
close friend of Dave,
Oh yeah.
and also very talented actor and musician, songwriter. She was in Red, The Good Wife, Lar Perdition, just to name a few. Dave, some words?
Yeah. She's probably hands down one of my favorite people to ever watch perform
Woo!
in person. Huge inspiration, even though she's younger than me. Little sis in my life, and I love her. And she's here today to just talk to us. So I'm really grateful.
Woo!
Evangeline Young, everybody. Evangeline
you.
Young.
Welcome,
Thank you for
welcome.
coming on the podcast.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so
Welcome,
much for having
welcome.
You are here now.
You
I
are
am here.
It is April.
22nd.
I was gonna say 24th, but it would be a lie.
me. You just
That's messed
3
up,
minutes
bro.
ago we're like going like April 22nd, April 22nd.
No, but I said because we put this out on Wednesdays.
Oh.
But it's technically
Oh,
Monday.
wow, I didn't even get that.
Whatever.
It's all right, bro.
Whatever.
All right.
It's April 22nd.
All right,
We're gonna be honest.
Yeah.
It's April 22nd. The
Yeah,
last April 22nd, 2019 we're ever gonna have.
Dude, you know
dog.
what's crazy?
That's a lot of pressure.
Oh my god.
Yo, how was your 420?
It was. Do anything.
How was How was your Easter? How was the
It was
weekend?
good.
How was your week?
It was great. It was great. Are we asking Vanjie? You asking me?
Listen, both of you.
Well, I'll talk then.
All right, then take the reins, bro, and go.
No, Easter was great. Got to really just chill with the family, both sides. It was awesome. I got to eat a lot of food,
There we go.
a lot of chocolate.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. And yeah, it was great.
Good.
nice.
Easter's such a slow, nice
Yeah,
holiday. There's not much craziness that has to
yeah,
happen.
yeah.
You
no,
know?
thank goodness.
Yeah.
We don't need it.
Yeah. What about you, Vanjie? How was your Easter?
It was good. It was all right. I worked.
How was yours, Mike?
Mm.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, yeah, it's fine.
You worked on Easter Sunday.
I worked on Easter Sunday, but my 420 was my sister's birthday party. Her birthday was on the
There you go.
19th. So that,
There
you
you
know,
go.
shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out. Happy
What's-
birthday.
What's her name?
Gabrielle.
Gabrielle.
Happy birthday.
Gabrielle.
Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday.
Yo, where's our guest of the week at?
Our what?
Our guest of the week, remember that?
Our podcast MVP
Yeah.
of the week?
Oh yeah, the MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah, we stopped that one.
That one screeched to a halt.
Yeah.
How was
big
your
halt.
420, man? Because you brought this up.
Dude, I was definitely somewhere, dude.
Were you really?
I was somewhere, bro.
Were you really?
I literally had to drive my parents to the airport at like 4 a.m.
Oh my God. You were high?
No, dude.
Oh.
I was driving.
You.
What's wrong with you?
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
It's
you're-
as if you were like, bro, I was.
Yeah, dude. I was,
You're not gonna believe this.
I mean, I was almost catching the plane, you know, getting kind of. I don't know. It was.
Michael.
It was like I was really tired. I didn't really do much.
Yeah.
Kind of just work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike's a hard worker.
That's all I
Just
do,
work.
bro.
Same spot.
Well, yeah. I haven't worked there in a hot minute though.
Oh.
I need to pick up
know,
some
I don't know
shifts.
what you do, bro.
Well, I'm working on another job on the side. You know, I'm doing my thing. I got the podcast. Got a couple things
I feel like I only know like half
of my life.
half of you.
A lot of people say that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that.
Seems like you got a big secret, bro. Big secret.
What kind of shit is that to say?
You don't want to air out your laundry on the podcast.
All right, so
Be
Van.
my guest. I'll leave.
So
Let's stop
Van,
making
So
this
you're
about
ready.
I
us.
feel animosity.
Let's stop making
with you
this about
already.
us.
I feel like you have a problem with me.
No,
right
I don't
now.
have a problem.
And if you want to
Let's-
say
no.
something, you can
Wait up.
say it.
Let's not make this about us.
Okay.
Because we have a wonderful person
Okay,
here
man.
today.
I'm gonna take a step back.
Let's
Well-
start off.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of questions.
Shout out to everyone. Nick Craven, Ricardo Burgos, Ariel Pacheco. Who else? Who else was in there? There's just a
JR
ton of
was
people.
in
there.
JR Carter.
Lil
Whoever
Wayne,
else
Carter.
is in the
Five.
Ignitus. I can't think of everybody.
Everyone. Yeah, they all popped into the live stream.
Jihad, thank you
before.
so much for they popped into our little live stream we do before the podcast, and we always kind of save a space for you guys to ask questions, something that you'd have for our guests, for us to talk about, anything. And it's really cool that you guys did reach out. So thank you. And so here's some of the questions. So I used to start with the
Yeah, let's
question,
just
right?
start with that.
Cool.
We got a
I'll
lot.
pick a random one. This is a cool one. Do you try to stay away from any types of genres when acting? Or do some genres not flow well for you or for other actors? What do you think? What's your take on that, Vange?
Or for other actors?
Yeah, so other actors you know, I guess.
Like, I could be like, this genre doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
kind of
You
thing?
can tell me what works for me or not.
Just air that out right now. Are there any genres that I try to stay away from? No. I mean, no. I think like the only thing. Am I close enough to the mic?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is this okay? All right.
Just try to stay in the general area.
My first podcast.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh my God, it's her first podcast.
We got a nice room, so like I can kind of.
Did you hear what I said? It's her first
first
podcast.
Well, you're a
bro.
natural already. We're good.
Thank you.
What's up?
What?
I'm
Whoa, dude.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
What's up?
dude. Whoa.
What's up?
What do you mean?
There's something going on here. You just looked off to the side.
I think you're stirring it. You're stirring it. You're starting.
No, I
You're
know
starting it,
I
dude.
know it, dude.
You're starting it.
We
Hey, calm down. We're good, right?
I'm a
Go
little
on.
amped
We're
up.
good.
dude.
We're good. We're good.
touch.
We're good.
Okay. All right. That felt
Look
real.
me in the eyes.
That felt real.
Look me in the eyes. We're good.
You are here. Okay.
Okay. I trust you. Okay.
Let's continue.
You're good.
Go ahead, man. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
That's okay. That's totally fine. The components that I that matter to me in regardless of genre is just like, is it an honest, authentic story that is interesting and well done and like that I feel like I want to be a part of, you know? So whether like I think whether it's drama, comedy, or anything in between, all those kinds of stories can have incredible value if they're like well told, you know, or worthwhile stories. So I'm down for anything.
Sure.
Do you feel?
I feel the same way.
the same way?
I feel the
Yeah.
same way. There's never a thing I like reading. I'm like, well, it's a comedy, and I don't jive too well
Yeah.
with comedy.
There
so-
are those
Yeah.
kinds of stories, like when someone gives you a script and you're like,
Well, that's different.
all right.
But that's
This
the
is
script
that.
then, isn't it?
that's the story.
Yeah.
That's like the individual story you're
Yeah.
you're reading, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Because you can, like, I would never be like, hey, you know, someone comes to you and they're like, I think you should really read this. You're really good for this. And I'd be like, is it a comedy?
Comedy?
And
Yeah.
they're like, well, yeah. And I'd be like, well, I just don't jive with comedy.
Yeah.
Like that's, you know, you gotta be careful of that. I
Yeah.
don't do that.
Because
either.
even the most stylistically done stories can be incredible and like
Yeah.
totally.
worth investing in and
Yeah.
telling if they're, you know, coming from an honest
Yeah.
spot.
And
you know?
I think like there's types of stories like you gravitate towards. Like
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
There's
yeah.
things that there's genres that you'll enjoy more than others. Excuse me.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll gravitate to something, but I don't think you should ever like say like I'm never gonna do.
I think you
sci-fi.
definitely gotta
Yeah.
whatever project that comes to you or whatever anything comes to you, someone just asks you, "Oh, just read this," to just like be open to whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, because I guess because if you're saying like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do like dramas," like,
So
it sounds so
limiting.
stupid. Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
why would you
dude.
limit yourself?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So definitely just be open. I think.
Yeah, and
that's the key.
You just figure out if the juice is worth the squeeze
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
man.
perfect.
Whoa.
That's
Like
good.
that.
Yeah. Oh,
The juice is worth the
thanks, girl.
squeeze.
Thank
Worth
you.
the s-
Love that.
You know.
Love that.
We are here now. Vange, I want to. I have so much to talk to you about, like to talk about with her, because Vange. I'm gonna go into a story how we met, if that's
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love this story.
I'll leave out that one part.
Oh yeah. Don't.
Whoa.
Just kidding.
What?
Just kidding. No. But so the play I spoke to you about when Tori was on the podcast,
Waiting for that.
Waiting for Lefty,
Yes.
when we were in that church, right?
Yep.
So Vange and her mother came to one of the shows. This is before I knew Vange, and Vange went to school, the same school that I went to, but in Philly,
The Philadelphia branch.
Oh,
Yeah.
right? So she's from PA,
Right.
born and
Right
raised.
outside of Philly. Yeah.
What's the town?
Westchester.
Shout out,
Ready?
Westchester.
Dub. C. Wet cheddar, as I like to call it. No one else does, but I
Whoa.
do. That is a true hometown shout out right there.
Whoa. How do you do that?
All right,
I'll teach you.
wet
when you're
cheddar.
older. Yep.
Damn.
No one else, literally no one else calls it that. I only do,
Shout
as far
out.
as I know.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're gonna make T-shirts, wet cheddar T-shirts.
Wet cheddar, gross. So gross, but I love it. It's disgusting.
Wow.
Sounds great though.
So I think it was after a show. I was crossing the street, I remember, and I saw Vange and her mother, and I think you said like, hey, you were real genuine, you were real kind, and very energetic, and like excited in the way
Yeah.
you speak. And I was like, you just ran up to me like, hey, I just want to say that was really great. Like that was a really cool show. It was such a cool thing you guys are doing or something like that. But I remember how excited you were and like how engaging you were for like a brief moment, literally like walking on a sidewalk for like a second crossing a street.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, who was that? You know what I mean? I was like, you don't have interactions like that very often. And then I did the Rose Garden.
Yes.
And so this is right before I did the Rose Garden.
Right.
Before I wrote it, before I met you.
Really?
Yeah. I went to the festival in Philly, the Playhouse West Film Festival in Philly. This was a year before. This was 2016. And you were there. And I remember I was mad nervous. And I was like, because I wanted to tell a story. And I was like, Jim kept telling me, like, go to this festival, get inspired, come back, write your thing. I was like, cool. So went to the festival. I was just like kind of like sitting. I didn't know a lot of the Philly people. There was a few of the New York crowd, and that was cool. But like I was super nervous. And I went down to the stage, I think, after your first film played. And it was a short about you and a boy and a robot.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember this?
Uh-huh.
And it was really good. And I wanted to tell her like it was really good. So and I didn't think you'd remember me. And I went to the stage and I just like said, hey, Vange, just want to say, it was really great. And you're like, you lit up. You're like, Dave. I was like, oh my God, you remember me. And I was like, it was crazy. But you were so welcoming and like it was like as if, first of all, I wasn't nervous anymore. And like everything else kind of went away. And like you were just talking to me, and you were you were like one of the most present people I've ever met. And I was like, wow, she disarmed me completely, and I thought that was so cool. And I always remembered that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a crazy ride from there, but like it's just been so. I don't know. What I'm trying to say is like, it was an unforgettable kind of like meet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I knew it as soon as I kind of spoke to her and met her. I knew something was different.
Yeah.
And we just kind of click like a brother and sister in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like
Right away. So similar in a lot of ways too. But yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how we met.
I love that you treasure that story
Oh,
as
totally.
much as I do.
Totally.
Yeah.
But so you've been training at acting, which is really fucking cool. The first thing I think you told me you ever did. What was the first thing you ever did acting wise? What was the thing?
The first thing I ever did was when I was 5, and I was just an extra in the movie The Village.
Ever
which
heard
was
of
like
it? M. Night Shyamalan? The Village.
No way.
Yes.
What?
with like Joaquin Phoenix and Bryce
Yeah.
Dallas Howard and everything.
Wait,
So I was
what?
just
She's 5.
I was just an extra, but I was like a featured extra or whatever, which I don't like. I'm not trying to
Oh,
like.
wow. Okay.
So
Okay.
watch out.
Those are those baby checks.
Yeah.
Get those baby checks, dude. 5-year-old checks.
Those 5-year-old checks. But the reason I say that is because I worked on it for like a month and a half, like on and off, because and it's about a like small community. So I worked on it for a long time, and that was my first kind of experience with it. Because my older brother, had done acting, and he was like, I want to do this. So my mom was like, all right, well, why don't you do it too? And it was just the bomb. It was the bomb, and it felt like super normal to me. Like I loved everything about it. I got to wear these cool costumes because if you've seen the movie, it's like sort of set in the past, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I did my makeup done. I was hanging out with all these people who were older than me, making friends with the makeup artists, and just like I was like, this is amazing, and just like I had to look scared, and I was just like, oh yeah, this makes sense, and I loved it, and so that was the first thing I ever did, and then I just didn't stop doing
That's
it.
amazing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you went to a high school, a performing arts high school.
I did. Yep. I went to regular public like elementary school, and then in middle school through the end of high school, I
Gotcha.
went to a performing arts school where you do like it's like part of a program where you do your academic work online, and then 2 days a week you go to a place where you just act and
Wow, that's
sing
like
and
that.
dance and make puppets
Trained,
and
doggy.
Shit.
Trained.
yeah, it was really a really special program, and there was never really a moment where I like stories, even like unconsciously, were just always very important to me, even as a little kid.
Yes.
Like I was just profoundly affected by them. And there are moments I can point to. Is it rude that I'm chewing gum? I feel like it's rude.
No, I mean
Probably shouldn't do that, right?
it's a
It's
little
fine.
rude.
Wow.
I mean,
Just
I've
gonna
been
walk in
thinking
here
about
and
it this
chew
whole
some
time we've been
gum.
talking, but
Wow.
not a big
No,
deal.
you're good. You're good.
All right,
You're
here we
good.
go.
I didn't even
we go.
notice.
Me neither.
All right, done. Go on.
You're
Gone.
good. Caught it. That's professional.
Caught it. Nah. What can I say?
That's what I'm
Been
talking
acting since I was 5.
She doesn't miss anything.
Anyway, there are moments I can point to, like in my childhood, where I'm like, I didn't know it in the moment, but I was like, oh, that's where the seed was planted, or
Yeah.
I love that because I love stories, or that's what was happening there. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of it's been a
Awesome.
minute,
Wow.
been a minute.
And then you found Tony in Playhouse.
Yeah, when I was 14, which was the most important thing I ever did in my whole
Tony?
life. Tony, so he
Get out.
started
Get out of here.
the
What?
Just leave.
I don't know Tony.
the worst. He's stirring the pot. Mike, I'm
Yeah,
with you,
dude.
man. You're
That's what I'm
just
saying,
stirring.
dude.
You're just
What
stirring the
up?
shit. I love you. So Playhouse West is the LA
I know
school.
that.
Yeah.
I just don't know who Tony is.
It started as LA school. So my teacher Tony came from that school, taught there for like 20 years, and then he's from Philadelphia originally, so he moved back out, and then started Playhouse West Philadelphia, and then I found
That's awesome.
him. Yeah.
You guys have a special relationship. You
Yeah.
and Tony.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I maintain, like, I was thinking about this recently, like,
Shout out.
yeah, Tony Savant,
Tony Savant.
Tony Savant.
Shout out.
the man, the myth, the legend. Yeah,
Yes.
just an incredible man of a lot of integrity and artistically and otherwise, just a really beautiful person, and really changed my life because I, like, you know, I kind of had a knack for acting. I had certain instincts, whatever. When I was a kid, I would always like get the leads in the plays, and that felt good. And I kind of like, yeah, like whatever, I know what I'm doing.
You know what I'm doing?
And yeah,
I know what I'm doing.
and that's an extra nutshell on the village. So I knew I was destined for greatness. So anyway, I'm gonna stop talking bullshit. So I like kind of like, you know, felt like I had a certain knack for things, but then right before I found his school, I started to become like I was a really good little like faker. Like I could really like I had certain instincts. I don't think it was all just like crap,
Right.
but I definitely like knew how to just look like I was feeling things, and
Right.
like I would do the play the same way every night because I was like, I got it, you know, just execute. Ugh.
Phone it in.
Just phone it in
Yeah.
and not present even for a second, and but it was like kind of working. You know?
Yeah, totally.
And so, but then right before I found his school, and it dropped into my lap, I started to become dissatisfied with that. Like it started to kind of like eat at me a little bit. I was like, man, like, is this what it is? Like, there's got to be, is this it?
Uh-huh.
I was like, yeah, 14, whatever. And I was like, I just feel like a phony. I feel like a fake. I feel like I'm not getting better. I feel like I hit the ceiling and I have no real tools. And then like that summer, I audited his class, and I was just like, oh my God, like this is the thing. I'm sorry, what did you say? Truth? Listening?
What does that mean?
You can have a real experience. You cannot know how a scene is going to, like everything. It was like lifting my head above water after just like kind of like not even knowing you were underwater for that whole time, and like breathing in. And it was just the most important decision I ever made for my acting. And just I would not have the richness of life and connection to myself, to other people, to the world around me that I do, or that I try to have without him and that school, because it really, yeah. So,
Hell yeah.
yeah,
Damn.
yeah,
That's
That's a
awesome.
mentor, dude.
yeah.
That's a life changer.
Totally a mentor. Gave me the keys to my dreams.
That's so powerful. I
Mhm.
think that the things that those people have done for us in our lives, to say like, literally giving us the keys to our own, like we can do it now if we choose to.
yeah, because you have the
But with before you didn't have it.
yeah. You didn't know how.
That's why those people mean so much.
I know.
Yeah,
I
man.
know, you know what I mean?
What a gift, right?
Oh my, the gift.
The
You
gift.
have a chance to do the thing you want to do for the rest of your life if you choose to.
The thing that you feel like you're made to do.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, now you're on the path. You see the path for the first time.
Forever indebted. I say it all the time.
I know, man.
It's hard to not feel that way.
Yeah,
Like I always owe something to
Yeah.
like Jim and Andrea, and like I'm sure you
Yeah.
feel similar.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, man.
It's a beautiful thing. Having those kinds of mentors.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
It's so weird, like being on the other side that like I've never had someone like that.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, like, do you?
I don't know.
Yeah. Like in
I've never
college,
had
so we-
anyone that like. Honestly, there's only a couple like professors that I really like was like I wasn't really close with like any, like to the even to like a point of like us, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
getting on
yeah.
that level, like
Yeah.
that deep level. I've never had that with a professor,
Right.
like ever.
Yeah.
So most of the stuff I've kind of been doing is just solely from inspiration from like people like you and like
Mhm.
other people like that in the field and myself, and that's it.
Yeah.
But it can be, I think also, like, we're talking specifically about teachers
Yeah.
and mentors in that capacity, but I have tons of people, like Dave is that for me
Yeah,
in my life
same.
too.
Yeah.
You find that in
Mm-hmm.
people, if you're lucky enough
Totally.
to, like, be surrounded by
Yeah.
good people like
Yeah,
that.
It's not a classroom setting for,
Yeah, yeah.
especially for you.
But even
for-
like the way you talk about it is like, it's like kind of you're being like you have a guide that's kind of like telling you what's, you know, like what you're doing is
Right.
wrong. Like they have an idea
Right,
of
right,
like
right.
they're teaching their ideas,
Yeah.
and they're kind of like morphing your idea into that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You don't have someone like you show
No,
up for
I know.
every week and you're like,
No,
I
not
think-
really.
you know, I
I
got
always
you.
wanted that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
But I never really like had. I don't know.
Yeah.
I never really like sought it either.
Yeah. For
Mhm.
sure.
So-
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like being independent too. So
well,
maybe
that's what I
that's
was
my
just gonna
thing.
say. I'm not. Like I
Yeah.
need to be told
Yeah, I'm very like.
move this way and like do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
These are the rules and like check them out. If they're good with you, great. And if not, figure it out. You know, somewhere else.
Right.
And I needed that. I needed to
Mhm.
be in a room with somebody to say like, commit and like,
Yeah.
I promise you, I'll give you something. And I was like, oh, done. Okay. I
Yeah.
can't do it on my own. Like I promise. Like I'll be here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I'm sure you can relate to this too, but that training also just really presented, like I didn't know what kind of artist I wanted to be or what that actually meant. You know, I had no concept of that.
Yeah.
So then I just knew that I loved to act. And
Yeah.
and even like if people would ask me like, "Oh, why do you like to do this?" I'd be like, "I don't know, man. I just kind of like to do it." Like I couldn't
Yeah,
even answer. I
yeah.
couldn't articulate it because I
Yeah,
didn't have
same.
the language. And then when I realized like what it can be in its highest form, its most vulnerable, its most authentic, I was like, "Oh, that's why." Like
Yeah.
that's the thing that was like I think unconsciously speaking to me or on some level, I don't know, but I realized that was the standard I wanted to
Yep.
chase and
Yep.
and because I didn't have a picture of that before. So
Mhm.
that's why also I like having this like guide in that way and this new set of like approaches and tools. I just couldn't wait to just you know
Yeah.
eat it
Yes.
because it was also new.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's how I
Yeah.
felt too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's you know, back to you. Like that's
Yeah.
with you. I think it's a bit different because you're coming out of going to school now, and you're this more of an independent kind of spirit where
Yeah.
you're going to pick up your artistry. You already kind of are shaping your own artistry
Mhm.
without being told like you are an artist.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know I had to be an artist to be an actor.
Mm,
Mhm.
mm.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to be, right? In
Well, you
general,
don't.
But ideally, you
Yeah.
are. Yeah,
Ideally,
yeah.
if you're doing it in a service,
Doing the right in a service way. Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
and I think you do that.
I feel like I've always wanted to like define my
Yeah.
like whatever, like who I am as an artist.
I'm still trying.
That's a lifelong
That's
thing,
a
right?
Yeah.
lifelong.
Yeah.
Did you just
thing.
make a film? Or you're about to?
I'm writing.
You're writing a film.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
But I just right now I've honestly just been kind of swamped with other things
Uh-huh.
instead of like film. The last thing I did was in college for like my thesis.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it was like a year or so ago. But it was short and that was a
Cool.
good time, yeah. Even
Yeah.
that was like super independent. Like Dave helped me out with it.
nice.
And yeah,
Yeah.
it was super fun. Can't wait to do that again.
Yeah, man.
I want to do music videos.
We got to
too,
get
though.
you going.
Cool.
I hopped on a music video like the
Oh,
other,
yeah.
yeah, the other
How did
time.
that go? We never talked about that.
Yeah, we didn't, right?
Holy shit, Mike.
That was like,
How did it go? How'd it go?
dude, that was so basically it was for this like with this connection to the buildings that, you know, that we're in right now. It was in another one like a couple of streets down. But it was for this band called Concrete Dream. It's like a metal mixed with like trap.
Oh.
It's like hardcore.
Yeah.
And I just like the one guy, my dad helped him for like since he was like 13 years old. He was like here and trying to like work here.
Uh-huh.
And he kind of just grew up like around these parts, and my dad knew him, and my dad always helped him and like gave him like, you know, just like jobs and money and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Your dad's the best.
yeah, dude, everyone tells me like, dude, working here, like everyone tells me how much he like gives.
Yeah, I believe
Like I talked to this guy for like an hour here, and
Really?
he was just telling me like, he's like, yeah, he's just a good person,
He's the shit.
man. He's like, everyone, no one's gonna say a bad word about. I'm like, it's
He's the
crazy.
man. He's the man.
But yeah, so this guy hooked me up, and it was for their band, and dude, they got I'm forgetting his name, Steve something, damn it. But the director's Real Rage, and the budget was like 30 grand, and the camera was like 100 grand.
Whoa.
So just like watching and like being a part of, I was second AD,
Yeah.
so second assistant director. And like I don't know, just seeing like the professional level, like this guy did videos for like Soulja Boy, like
Right.
Crank Dad,
Whoa,
and
whoa.
like a lot of stuff. Like he was with Jay-Z, Beyonce,
Yeah.
like everyone did.
Whoa.
I'm telling you, like a lot of like 2000s, 1990s classics.
big.
He did the videos
He
for
was
that
doing
shit.
the videos.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
really
insane.
Cool.
So just seeing like the way everything was working,
Being on a
it's
set.
just like it was intense,
That's awesome.
super
dude.
intense. I don't AD ever,
Yeah.
but it was fun.
That's
Yeah,
dope,
good time.
dude.
And you felt like it made you kind of want to be like, I want to do more of that. I want to do more music videos.
I mean, I've always wanted. I mean, I produce like a little bit myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like hip hop instrumentals and stuff like that. So
Cool.
I've been wanting to just do something myself, and doing that,
I want to play one of your
Makes me-
instrumentals on here.
it's the intro,
Okay.
the intros.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot. There's like albums worth of more.
Once we're ready.
Okay.
Once we're ready.
Okay.
Well, I look forward to that.
Hey, thank you for.
Oh yeah,
Passing me
I
this
hooked
book.
you up.
This
We
is
talked
the-
about it with Patrick on the
yeah,
last.
so the
two
Tupac,
podcasts ago.
the Tupac poetry book. I'm gonna read it. I promise you. Let's ask Vanjie another question.
Yeah.
From the book of questions over here. Shout out again to everybody who participated. Okay, can you define specific moments where you're not having a great time performing, where you're not enjoying performing?
Absolutely. Anytime, whether it's in acting or music, if I'm like
We've got
not
so much to talk about.
so happy to be here. Anytime I'm like my attention is on myself and I'm self-conscious and worried about anything other than what's happening in the moment or the other person, or like in the case of music, like if I'm self-conscious about how I sound or anything, there are a million things. Self-consciousness is like the enemy of
Mhm.
presence and like just joy in what you do, right?
That is.
And it's just
Dude,
So-
I realize how self-conscious I am like
Oh,
recently, bro.
man.
Wow. I'm
How much
like,
does that lock
I'm
you
bad,
up?
dude.
How much does that lock you
It's pretty
up
bad.
in life?
You know what happens when I'm alone? It kills me.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
that's
I
so
don't know.
interesting.
When you're alone?
Yeah.
Really?
It's
More
weird.
so when you're around other people.
How so?
I don't know, dude. I start
You
thinking
start
about.
thinking about yourself?
Yeah, I just like my head
Mm.
just starts going. Like
Yeah.
I'm alone, like at home for like a week. Like my parents went on vacation, but like I don't know, dude. I have to like go out.
Yeah.
I like can't stay home.
Party
It's
at
weird.
Mike's place. Party at
Dude.
Mike's place. Everyone's a
Alright.
party.
Where's
What's
the-
the address?
where's the app?
Pinewood. Something.
Whoa!
Right.
That's actually kind of close.
No,
what
sorry,
the hell,
sorry.
dude?
80,
Don't do that.
80. I forgot
Whoa,
the
dude!
number.
What the
Sorry,
fuck?
sorry.
You can't do that.
All right, my bad.
Damn,
Just got
bro.
excited,
We'll
dude.
just bleep it out.
Whatever.
Yeah.
He's got jacuzzi.
Damn, bro. You're just giving everything away.
No, but so more self-conscious by yourself than around other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm figuring some stuff out about myself still. It's been a journey.
Yeah.
That is life,
Yeah.
my man.
Yeah.
That is life.
Absolutely.
We're gonna be figuring ourselves out for a
Forever.
long time.
As long as we're here, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, man. But that's good. It's good that you're
Yeah.
like you're just kind of looking at yourself at all and saying
Yeah.
and posing these kind of questions like
Oh,
why
yeah.
Yeah.
and by yourself why. It's just kind of cool to think about. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel it more so like when it comes to acting again, like the question like or in life period around other
Yeah.
people, the self consciousness will tune up a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then the second I'm able to like escape this brain and put all my attention on what's outside of me, then it goes away.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in that thing in front of me than this, and that feels a lot better. Like I'm not
Mm-hmm.
beating myself up or thinking twice about things. I'm just taking in what's happening in front of me.
Hearing how stuff is like coming out of your mouth as it's coming in,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's just terrible.
That's the worst feeling.
It's crazy how that's like our natural instinct before any like situation.
Right.
Like that we're just like if like a new whole room of people that's like we don't know anyone. It's like we're just like like I don't know, and he just starts talking, and then like you feel that like nervousness a little bit, or some people don't,
yeah,
and then like you start getting into it and you talk, and then like it just goes away.
Bro,
It's so weird.
I gotta bring up something because that just reminded me of this.
Really?
Yeah. I told you this already. I didn't tell Vanj. And I forgot his name, and I feel so bad. I feel
Oh,
so
yeah.
bad.
Dude, you didn't even reach out or
He
anything?
didn't reach out to you.
No.
Damn it! All right. I was at the mall with Lena and my stepmother and a few other people. And we were at Urban Outfitters, and I was just looking around, right? And all of a sudden, I feel someone tap me on the shoulder, and I'm like, "The hell?" And I hear like a guy's voice say, "Hey, do you do a podcast with Mike Nowicki?" And I was
No way.
I was
Dude,
like,
the first
"Yeah."
fan.
I was like, I turn around, it's this like young dude, like very, very nice, very energetic, and like I remember he just kept saying like really kind things. Like he was shout out. I'm so effing sorry, brother, that I forgot your name, but I'm so bad with names. I should have asked you twice. I always need it twice. Reach out, please, because you were awesome. But he said he's like, oh, I listen to every episode. Love what you guys are doing. I feel like I know you, and I was like, thanks, man. And that was a weird thing too. For me.
Yeah.
I was like, because I don't know you,
Yeah.
so it was like a little bit of an odd thing. But like, really, he was so open and honest that it was nice. But I felt nervous. I felt self-conscious. I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit. Like I felt
Yeah,
self-conscious
dude.
as fuck. But it was weird. It was just cool. It was very nice
Yeah.
that because he was a good energy. He was a very nice
Yeah.
person. Yeah, so shout out to you, man. And he said he wants to talk about the podcast, and I was like, please, like, reach out. So reach out if you
Yeah,
can.
dude.
That was the first time that happened.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was really
Wow.
nice. It was very
Damn.
nice.
You were getting. See, now you're recognized for your films. Now you're recognized for the podcast. You feel me, dude?
Yeah, it was weird, but it was cool, man. It was weird, but it was cool. I don't know how comfortable I'm ever gonna be with that. If it becomes like a thing.
Getting recognized.
Yeah. Like what? Someone I think I was talking to Ricardo about this. Shout out Ricardo. Burgos. I should say the last name. What do you say when someone runs up to you and says like what's your plan of dealing with that? Do you like embrace it? Like, oh my God, were you in blah blah blah? I saw you and I thought you changed my life or whatever. It could be anything. Like how do you mess with that kind of exchange? And how often would that happen? That's another factor to take in.
Are you asking how often it happens now?
No.
Okay, because
No,
it
no.
doesn't happen
No,
ever.
No.
You just mean like the hypothetically.
No, and even after like a play or a show or
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
that
yeah,
happens all the
yeah.
time. People
Yeah,
will come
yeah,
up
yeah.
to you and say like their thoughts. And
Yeah.
Say what you
Like taking thoughts
did
from
for
people.
them. Happens all the time.
Yeah.
That happens a
Yeah,
lot.
totally.
So how do you deal with people's feedback or kind thoughts or what do you do?
Well, I mean,
It's case by case, of course.
yeah, totally case by case.
Does it make you feel uncomfortable?
It depends. I mean, I'm such a I have so many heroes when it comes to like
Yeah.
music and acting, of course, and
Totally.
artists that I really look up to, and even just like since moving to New York, like I've had the chance to like meet a couple of like my heroes, and so I know that feeling so well on the other end. Not saying that I'm anyone's hero, but just even the idea of going to someone and being like, hey, just want you to know, like, your work affects me like this.
Yeah.
That's such a meaningful thing to be able to
Yes.
express.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, sometimes you're caught in those moments where you're like, oh, this is a little intense or whatever. But, like, I don't take that for granted.
Right.
I don't take that for granted because, I just, like, I so know, like, being on the other side of that, like, what it means to be able to communicate that. So... yeah, I think like that's a really special thing, and sometimes like people give you kind of weird feedback, and you're like, all right, well, hey man, cool, and you just gotta be like, woo, you know,
Yeah.
and so sometimes there's always those kinds of interactions too, but
Yeah.
I think that's like so special when somebody can just really authentically be like, hey, like this is what you just did. This is how that affected me. That's what that meant to me. Like, that's
Yeah.
really special.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What about you?
Same. I think like it's hard for me to forget that like there was a time before that like nobody gave a shit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know? And if someone like you said, it's such a meaningful like it takes a lot to look at somebody and like watch them do their work and say like I just want to tell you this is what you did for me. And like whatever, and most of the time it's nice things, it's kind things.
Yeah.
And I want to take time to like hear you out and embrace you and say thank you, for even having the courage to do something like that, to reach out. It's very hard to do that to a random person.
For sure.
Someone you don't know, especially someone you just watched do something that you admired. So that's why it was very nice. It's very kind when people do that. Right now, where I'm at in life, I feel very comfortable like stopping and just like taking in that person and hearing them out. Even if the feedback is a little wonky.
Right.
You just want to let it go. Like I'll hear it. I'll hear it all, please. That's how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm. You have any thoughts about that?
I think it's like the same thing as you guys. I mean, for me, I feel like a lot of people don't really approach me.
Right.
I get a lot of like people are intimidated.
Right.
So like,
if
someone comes up to me, I'm like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
I actually had an interesting experience on Easter. I went out to with my cousin's family. They invited me out because my family left, and after we got like brunch and everything, and I went to go get I went to like go to my car, and I was like, I want to get coffee. I walked back, and I go to this place, and this guy starts talking to me at the counter. He's like, what are you, like an artist or something? Or I was telling him about everything, and like, I'm not the kind of person that like is into like astrology and like a bunch of like like very, I don't know, like like out there kind of like stuff. No, I don't get like, if you're into it, I'm fine. I don't care.
Okay.
This guy was into like a lot of things. Like he's like, are you a revolutionary? I'm like, I don't even know what that is.
A revolutionary.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So it's very like, I don't know, like, and he was very like he was a good guy. He was a nice guy. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have anything against him. He just had these like different ideas and thoughts.
Yeah.
Which were kind of like out there, not really that normal.
Right.
But still, I was like listening. I was like, it's kind of cool conversation.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It felt good. Like after it, the point is like it felt good to have that interaction.
Yeah.
That you normally wouldn't have with like that kind of person, like
sure.
a cashier or something.
For sure. That's really cool.
And he was talking about like he was making like art and stuff and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's pretty cool.
You get something from those kind of conversations.
Yeah. I think it's important to have those.
Yeah. You walk away with a little something, and they do too. You also saved somebody on the highway.
Oh, dude. Oh, shout out to this kid. That was funny. That was so fun. So I was driving off
I saw a little
the main highway,
Yeah.
And this kid was stopped at an exit.
Right.
You know when the car's like stopped on the side of the road?
Yeah.
No one stops.
No.
Right? This kid was like stopped. I was like, I would go, but then I was like, I'm just gonna stop. So I stopped. It's like a younger guy. And I'm like, yo, like what's going on? Are you good? He had his blinkers on. And he's like, dude, I ran out of gas. I'm like, and he's just sitting there for like minutes. I was like, so you're gonna get gas? He's like, I don't know what to do, man. Like, is there a gas station around here? I'm like, you know what? I'll be right back.
Oh,
he's like, what? I'm like, dude, just stay here. I'll be right back. So I went to the gas station. I didn't even know they had these. They have like emergency gas cans.
Wow.
Made out of like, it's like a cardboard box and you like fold it out.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Whoa.
But and the guy was, it was kind of like weird because it was like 2 a.m. The gas attendants were like trying to help me, and they didn't really speak English that good, and they were like trying to pour the gas into the can, and the guy was like, I don't know what was going on, but he was trying to like blow into it to expand it, and he was like breathing in the fumes.
Oh my
and
God.
and I was like, dude, you shouldn't do that. And he got up, he was
Oh,
like dying. I was like, oh no. I was like, thanks, bro. So I got the gas and I left. I was like, bye. But then I went back and I stopped because it was on the exit. I had to park somewhere, and I like ran to this kid. And I was putting the gas in, and he's like, dude, like, oh my God, like, thank you so much. And he was telling me how it's funny because like he was telling me that he was coming from like a video shoot for like a wedding, and I was like, it's so weird because like we do the same thing, like for film and like video and like that side of things at least. So I was talking to him about that, and then he's like, dude, like, you want like money or something? Like, I was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. And I just ran away. He was like, what the hell? And I drove by the gas station. He was there. I was like, woo.
Oh my God.
And he's like,
It was
what's
cool.
your name?
Don't worry
about it.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
That's really cool, man.
And then you faded into the mist.
Yeah, and I just flew away.
That's pretty cool, man.
Not a lot of people would do that.
They wouldn't.
They would drive on by.
Dude, he told me like everyone was honking at him.
Yeah, I bet.
I felt so bad.
Man, good for you for doing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good deed.
Vanjie.
Yep. What?
Can we get?
Oh, I know what you're gonna do.
Do you? Wow.
Keep going.
We're cued in right now, baby.
Dude, say it.
That's chemistry, dog.
What if it isn't what I thought?
So you put out an album.
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
What? First of all, I don't even know how to describe it because you're one of the best actors I've ever seen. Period.
So nice.
And you can really, honestly, just do music for the rest of your life if you wanted to.
Yo, for real though.
Seriously.
For real though.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Did you listen to
Yeah,
it?
I did.
Oh wow, thank you.
Before going to this, she worked today at the Collective this morning, and I'm watching her do her. She has an audition tomorrow. If you
Dave.
no, stop.
Dave.
If you don't, listen.
No.
I'm gonna say it.
Dave, don't.
If you don't give her this role, it's your loss. You've missed out. Because I was shattered this morning in rehearsal. Shattered, broken.
Really?
She has such a
man.
hold on this fucking story.
Really?
I don't understand it. If you don't get it, it's stupid. It's stupid. Your movie's stupid.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Someone had to say it.
Someone has to say it. I gotta be
Someone
real.
had to say it.
It's silly not to give her that. Whatever. They're never gonna hear it. If you do, please, for yourself, just give her the role, please. No,
man,
but you
that's
released this album, dude,
Yeah.
and it's fucking amazing.
Thanks, Dave.
So tell us about how did this come about? Like how did you were always doing music, right? Your family's a musical family.
Yeah, my family's a musical family, but it's like a big deal, like a rite of passage in my family. Like when my dad, both my parents are musicians, professional musicians. Yeah,
Wow.
parents, Peter, Wendy, Young. Like when my dad gives you your first guitar when you're 8, like it's like, go, carry on the gauntlet. You know?
Wow.
That's a big deal because everyone in my family plays music. My brother is an incredible musician.
Yeah.
Shout out Noah
Shout
Young.
out
Anyway,
Noah.
but I never really was into it when I was like super young, and then I got into it more seriously when I was like 13. But then, so I just did it for fun. But acting was always like I was like, that's all I really want to do. And then I did that short film that Tony wrote and directed called Red, where I played and sang in the movie, and I played a musician in the movie. And he was like, I really want original music for the soundtrack, so.
You should first of all, everyone should see Red. Too.
Yeah. Turned out cool. Jim was in it. Jim played my dad.
Oh, really?
Jim was
Yeah. That was amazing. Anyway, so he was like, so
Tony directed.
you
Shit.
better,
Sorry.
yeah. No. He's like, you better work on your songwriting. And I was like, oh, all right. And he was like, because I'm not paying for music, so you gotta, like get it together. I really wanted it to be like original music, and I was like, okay. So then, Luke Eddy and I, shout out Luke Eddy, shout outs all over the place. We just started, writing the music for it and everything, and then I realized that like I loved playing music. I really, really loved it. I always loved music, but having it be my own kind of expression was just something I didn't really anticipate. So anyway, from there, I just like went crazy and loved doing it. And then I came to New York a little over a year and a half ago, and I kind of found this community, this like song circle, and that was like a really cool environment to like really put a lot into my songwriting and everything. And then I had a few songs that I was like, I'd really like to record, because I was like, I'd really like to do music right alongside my acting. I don't know what that's gonna look like, but I felt that. So then
it's a leap of faith a bit.
Yeah, and it was scary and it's still scary just because I had never put any professional energy into anything other than acting before.
Yeah.
So it was very unknown for me because acting is funny. Like acting was like the safe thing of like,
That's
acting.
crazy.
Like how hilarious
That's the
is
same
that?
thing.
How hilarious.
Yeah.
Music was like the outside the box thing. So anyway, my mom's sister and her brother-in-law, my aunt and uncle, have been professional musicians also for forever and ever. They live in Nashville. My uncle was like, hey, I have a studio in my house. I produce things for people. Like, why don't you just come down to Nashville and I'll record it and engineer it for you and everything.
Tennessee.
And I was like, okay, yes. So incredibly generous. And then so I went down. I fine-tuned like 7 songs. I went down there. I recorded it with him, and he, because of his connections, wrangled these really wonderful musicians. Like he played on, my uncle did. He wrangled these other musicians to play on it. Wanda, Vic, and Chris Lusinger. Chris Lusinger, by the way, is Garth Brooks' session guitar player. Do you guys know who Garth Brooks is?
No,
Never heard of him.
really?
You never heard of Garth Brooks?
Just kidding.
Oh my God!
Everyone's heard of Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, so this amazing. It was just like what a gift. Like these incredible musicians are like playing on my tiny little EP.
That's so wild.
Yeah, and
That's so wild.
it was the craziest experience, like professionally and artistically and just like personally,
Yeah.
because my biggest fear was gonna be like going down there and realizing that I had no opinions and just being like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever, do whatever you want. I don't have any vision for this at all. But then I realized that because I'm such a music nerd about music that I love and I know how to speak about music that I love and why I like it, that it was the same skill set about my own music. Like I knew how I wanted it to sound and why, and I realized I had like such specific thoughts and opinions about it, and I was able to like stand by that stuff. And like I love collaborating with people, and we did a ton of that, and it was amazing. But then there were moments too where I was like, I really feel this, and like, and my goal with it was, whether it was just the worst piece of crap ever, and nobody liked it or whatever, I wanted to make sure that I signed off on every little detail of it, that it was like mine, through and through. And then if I accomplished that, then that was a victory.
Yeah.
And then I did, and it actually turned out like pretty well. I'm really proud of it, and people really liked it. So it was just such a special. We did 7 songs in 7 days. It was such a special experience.
Wow.
Such a special thing.
What would be like one of your favorite songs? What is, if you have one favorite song
On
the
it?
album? What's one that's like today that speaks to you the most?
I think probably the song about for my brother that I wrote my brother. Yeah, you like that song?
I like
Yeah,
that song.
it's called God in Video Games.
Did you listen to it?
Yeah. I was just so surprised when I listened to it. I'm like, this is like legit.
Can we play like a snippet? Is that okay?
We could, yeah. Dude, I could put it in like
Yeah.
post.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Do
that's
that.
fine.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I want to
Awesome.
hear it.
Oh, you want to hear it right now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure.
For sure, do that too.
dude.
Sure,
Jeez.
yeah. Do that also,
But
but
also-
now.
We'll put it in the back. Will we get like copyrighted?
Yeah, I'm gonna sue you.
Yeah, she's gonna sue us. Do we have your permission to play this?
No.
Sonia? Okay.
Absolutely
Mike,
not.
put the phone away.
I'm gonna leave.
Okay, okay.
No.
No, but I
Absolutely.
just want to hear a
That'd be
little
really
bit.
Cool.
If that's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this song.
let's just take a moment.
Just a little moment.
Let's just take a moment, please.
Okay. This is so funny. It's been a little while since I've listened to this.
You just like feel emotion, you know? That's when you know. That's when you know.
I know, dude. Listen.
Yeah.
You when you listen to that, you're moved, right? Already. She's singing about whatever.
Yeah, it's a song I wrote
Listen
for
to
my
the-
brother. Yeah.
Song she wrote for her brother.
Yeah.
So
This is for a movie, right?
No.
no,
Oh, wasn't?
this is
No.
for her,
Oh.
just her.
The Red soundtrack was a totally different thing. This was just my
This is-
totally solo.
It's funny
First
because I can
solo.
like see this in a movie. You know what I mean?
Totally.
I thought about that
Easy.
too for that song,
Easy.
actually.
She
Yeah.
I watched you live once
Really?
in that little cellar.
Oh
Behind the
yeah, you
church?
can. Yeah.
At Columbia, right?
Yeah, the Postscript Coffee House.
Postscript Coffee House. This is unbelievable to listen to like on recording.
Mm-hmm.
Total different animal live. Totally different.
Really?
And not like not that like I'm not that I'm selling this short at all because this is unreal to me. That's like really beautiful. But
Thank
like
you.
when you sing live, it's nuts. I remember looking around at like Adam and Kay. I was like, and they're just like, yeah, because they heard her before. You know, they heard you before live.
Right.
And I had never heard her before. I was like awestruck, dude. Totally.
Wow, that's so nice.
It's just
man.
nuts that you're so gifted. Not.
Talented.
I don't want to make it seem like you don't work at this because you do. You work at these things, but like you
Mhm.
have such a wonderful artistry in 2 lanes, which is like
Thank you.
insane.
That really means a lot. That really means a lot to me. Thank you. I feel just like feel so grateful that I have these two different lanes of expression
Yeah.
at my disposal to utilize. And it was really cool to have, because I loved acting and that is so important to me. But it was really awesome to be able to then introduce this other lane and to see how it fed my acting and vice versa. And like, because it's all storytelling, right? It's all that, like, they're all just vessels for stories and expression.
Yeah.
But they're different and they're similar. And I felt like both were fed and I grew in both of them as a result of the other, if that makes sense.
Yes.
That was really cool to feel.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah, but thanks for saying that.
Of
Thanks
course.
for
I'm a
listening.
fan.
Same.
Thank you.
We're
Thanks.
fans.
That's
You know?
really nice. That's really nice.
Sign this.
Thank you. No. I'm not gonna.
Sign it right now.
Right there. Thank you.
Yo, you know what we gotta do?
What?
We gotta get like a camera for like a Polaroid for guests, dude.
Oh, that's such a
Wow.
good idea.
Why did I
That's a
just
great
think of
idea.
that? I mean, people do it. Like I've seen it before, but it's a good idea.
I've never seen that before, and I like it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a
gotta do
great
that.
idea.
I
I was
like
also
the
thinking
idea,
like a guest book
Yeah.
for the
Oh,
podcast
that's
could
so
be cool. And then you could like put the post-it like or the Polaroid like next to
We're
their
already
thing.
13 in.
13 in, bro. Damn.
13 of what will be many.
Yeah, you're right.
Unless I die.
Whoa. Way to bring it
Way
down.
to bring
Dave.
it way
What the hell,
down,
man?
Dave.
Listen, we're
You
all
sa- you know
mortal.
what you sound like?
Okay.
You sound
We're all
like
mortal.
You sound
I'm
like
the
an old
oldest.
dad.
I'm the oldest here, dude.
I'm just gonna die.
I got less
It's
time
all right,
on
I'm
the
gonna-
old clock.
It's all right. I'm
bro.
gonna die.
You don't know.
soon.
I could die when I leave here.
Don't say that.
Whoa.
Don't say
all
that.
right, we're going.
Since
really
we're bringing the
real-
mood down.
We were
Bring-
having a
this is
great
the Bring the
time,
Mood Down
guys.
section of the podcast. Listen, man,
We all gotta have one.
I feel some pressure right now.
Why?
Because you know, it was really nice though because people reached out and I want
So Dave, next question.
next question because I wanted to give them their due, but I just want to talk to you so much.
How about, you know what? It's all right. We can do it for the next guest.
Well, I'm
Or
just gonna
maybe-
read this.
All right.
Well, we can do a little of both, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take over now.
All right.
Okay,
Calm
You
down,
wanna-
buddy.
Is there something
Calm down,
going on
buddy.
here? Is there
Hey,
something
hey,
between?
settle
Okay.
down.
Okay, man. I'm sorry.
Guys.
Settle
sorry.
down.
He did it.
Right.
Look it.
I'm a good boy.
Okay.
That was beautiful.
Do you ever think about the first time you started acting before you had a toolbox? And then another question, shout out to Craven. Do you guys ever reminisce on the complete freedom you had not knowing anything? And do you guys dive into that mindset going into an audition or scene where everything was based on instinct and not what you have learned?
Whoa. Thoughts?
Oh, you're the guest, you know?
Well, I do think about it. I was just talking about like before I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I did not, because I know what you're saying, Nick Craven, but I did not feel free in how I was, like the not knowing did not make me feel free. It actually made me lock up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Straight
So I think there's a difference between, for me, there's a difference between not knowing and not having the tools, and then having those tools but having a beginner's mindset, right? Like approaching everything like it's new, with like that really healthy kind of like philosophy we hear a lot about, so that everything is fresh and you're constantly learning and trying to grow and absorb and grow. But in terms of like reminiscing on that period, I didn't feel free. I didn't feel like I was acting on instinct. That the tools that I had unlocked that, and then I was like, oh, and then I was free.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like that beginner's mind thing is the key. But yeah, I didn't feel free until I had the tools.
Totally.
Do you feel that way?
Same. This was like a burning, like the self-consciousness thing. This was like a burning room, and I was like in, and I had like no way of getting out of that in an audition, or, you know, if I got cast in something, you know, getting out of that in the moment. I didn't know how to not be self-conscious and to work from an honest place. And then you get the toolbox, and you're like, oh, just do this one simple thing first. Like that's your start. You can get out of here.
Get into the other person.
Get into the other person. I'm like, oh, Got it. What's the next step? There's a next step.
Mm-hmm. It builds. The foundation builds on
Yes.
itself.
And that's the only time I felt like I was able to be free, like honest, impulsive, truly like
Yeah.
myself,
Yeah.
to actually offer a thing without like second guessing.
And then the other side of that, which I think is kind of maybe what Nick is getting into a bit, is like, because then sometimes those tools, they can, if you let them, they can start
Rule
to kind of
you,
lock
right?
you up, rule you.
Yeah.
That's a great way of putting it. It makes you in your head like, am I doing this? Am I doing this? Am I doing
yeah,
this?
yeah.
Or, is my homework coming out? Can you tell how much work I did on this part? Look how much work I did. Then you're sunk, right?
Totally.
Then that's a different kind of burning room. So it's like both. It's like that dichotomy of like having the tools and the knowledge and then doing the work you know how to do and then just like
Yes.
letting it go and then letting those instincts take over.
Yeah.
It's like both,
It is. Yeah, you can really like screw yourself over by like
oh, yeah.
overanalyzing a thing and like going too far, digging too deep, like filling things out too much. At the end of the day, it's whatever works for you.
Yeah.
This thing is a way of doing it,
Mm-hmm.
but everyone has their own way of even doing this. Like our process is going to be slightly different, mine and Vange's, or vastly different in some ways, which is fine because it's what serves you and what serves your work best. You know?
What gets you to the truth?
Totally.
Yeah.
So you can become a hard ass for like a process and miss opportunities and miss impulses and, be in your head. Again, on the other side of working.
Yeah, absolutely. And
That
I'm
happens a
such
lot.
a rule follower.
Oh, yeah.
I'm such a like, but it's the rules,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wish I was, I just feel like you're not as much of a
I
rule
was just thinking
follower,
that.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mike don't follow rules.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like for a lot of the questions, kind of like more actor oriented, but I try to like translate it into like maybe for like film like DP or something.
Yeah.
So the first thing I thought of was like I kind of miss like before kind of like learning more like technically about filmmaking.
Right.
I kind of miss having just like I had like a crappy digital camera and just like
dude.
going around being like, oh, we're gonna do this and like whatever, go
Yeah,
around like a
dude.
kid, you know what I mean?
That's reminiscent.
When I was younger, like I loved that, because
Totally.
it was just like pure creativity,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And now sometimes like right now I can get like kind of like creativity block where you have like the tools, but then you're like, but like it's not, it's not right. Like something about it isn't right or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, but I'm definitely more glad that the stuff I've learned and experienced has brought me to like a better place technically.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
For sure.
They should elevate each other.
Yeah,
ideally,
yeah, yeah.
Right. The knowledge and the
Absolutely.
creativity and the instincts. They should be
Yeah.
constantly like unlocking each other. I guess. I don't know.
Mhm.
But have you ever read the Duplass brothers book? Do you know who the Duplass
No.
brothers
Like
are?
Yeah.
brothers.
Like
Yeah.
brothers. Yeah. They wrote a book together called
Really?
Like Brothers,
Oh really?
which
It's
is
incredible.
one of my favorite things I've ever read.
Another book I'll
Put that
start
down.
but never read.
You will read.
You will read this book.
Yeah.
I promise.
Oh, you would actually get a lot from this book. Oh, that's such a good book.
It's
to
so
give
incredible.
Mikey.
Really?
Yeah, I'll get it for you.
It's
That's a good book.
Man, it is so beautiful, and they talk a lot about how, like them as brothers and the way that they used to like, Mark would like film Jay, and
Yeah.
then they would like live score it, and they would just like run
Yeah.
around and film each other, and they were just obsessed with each other and their
Yeah.
brotherhood and their creativity, and
Dude, I love my brother.
Yeah. I know. Why didn't I think of this? This is perfect for you.
you should definitely check it out.
Damn.
They're two artists that I'm
Gotta
just
see
like
it.
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, you
watched.
introduced me to the Safdie brothers too.
I did.
That was good. With
You're
Good
in
Time.
Good time, baby.
That was good.
Good time
Good film.
Did you watch their last film, the one on Netflix now?
with Ray Romano,
Yes.
and I haven't watched it yet.
You watched that one. We
The-
talked about that a little bit.
The DP that I worked with was Steve Romano.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Small world, man.
Yeah, dude.
Wait, was Steve Romano as in like?
I don't know if they're
Oh,
probably
you were
not.
just saying they shared a name.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought they
yeah.
were like cousins or something.
I don't know if they are. Maybe they're. He's
Oh,
this
but
guy's
you
won an
remember his
Emmy,
name. Okay,
Well,
so I don't know. He might be up there.
that's dope.
it's nice that you're getting out there, man.
Yeah, it feels good.
That's fucking cool. I'm proud of you.
But they did a new film, Safdie Brothers.
Safdie,
No,
the one's
the
coming
Duplass
out, right?
brothers.
The Uncut Gems
Oh.
film is
Yeah,
coming
which
out.
I can't wait to
Yeah,
see.
yeah. I'm really excited about that.
I can't wait to see. Who are like your like influences in any capacity? Do you have like
Ooh.
heroes?
A lot of them are like musical.
Yeah.
So I mean, growing up, I was into like instrumental hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Like we kind of talked about it on the podcast before, but there's a couple like just figures that were like solely instrumental. So like beat makers and stuff like Jay
Yeah.
Dilla and like Ninth Wonder and like New Job is stuff like that. And I don't know, like I was very obsessed with just like instrumental hip hop for a long time. With film though, I really love like Edgar Wright, stuff like that. More,
Cool.
yeah, that's kind of like my biggest influence. But yeah, I don't know. It's
Right
hard
on.
to. I'm still trying to figure out. Like, I remember when Jim was on here, and he asked me like, "So what's like? What do you want? What do you like to do? Like, what do you like to make?" And I was like, "I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything." And then like, I'm trying to form that right now.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Like that's such an alive place to be
Mhm.
when you're just like
Yeah.
everything is before you.
Yeah.
You know, the potential is endless.
Still gotta mess it up. I don't want to mess it up.
No,
You
don't
could
mess it
mess
up.
up if you tried.
Tell him, Vange.
As long as you're. I mean, what am I saying? But like you can. Dude, yeah, I just like that process of which we're all doing all the time of just figuring out who you are and what speaks to you and what you want to express, however you want to express it, which could change tomorrow. You know,
Yeah.
that's a beautiful
Yeah.
gift to give
For
yourself.
sure.
Right?
Yeah. I want
right? Tell me I'm
yeah,
right. Tell me
you're
everything I
right,
just said
you're
is
right.
I'm
valid.
sorry, you're right.
Validate. I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
So you've done I mean, you've been doing this since you're 5. I can't even remember anything from when I was 5. You know? So like, do you have like a role, either like a role or experience in a role, where it was like kind of like a very like the most life changing moment, like that made you like in your mind like switch the way you think about acting? I mean, you kind of talked about your mentor and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Was there like a moment in your life that really like, I don't know, opened your eyes, or like you just felt something?
Cool question, man. Yeah, I've had the chance to work on a couple really cool things that meant a lot to me. I think probably, well, when I did that short film Red,
Mm-hmm.
it was a pretty magic experience, just because of the way that everyone worked together. It was a really like special set, very like intimate crew, and like people just only wanting to contribute to the larger thing. And like on the last day, nobody wanted to leave. Like everyone was just like, "This has been the greatest thing ever," and it was like summer camp, you know. And that, I think, and in addition, like I got to act with Jim, and which was really incredible, and that was just that's a very special film to me. Snapshot of like that time. I think I was 17 when I did that. But I think in terms of like, I felt like I grew a lot in my acting, learned a lot from that experience. Watching that movie, I'm like, okay, yeah, I learned a lot from that experience. But also just collaboratively, like that, knowing that that's what it can be at its highest. I don't want to say like that was the highest form of collaboration that's ever been, but I just mean like that energy when everyone goes in to contribute and serve a thing. It's like, come on, you know,
sure.
like it just doesn't get any better than that. And I had a similar experience. I did a play right when I got to New York with a bunch of our friends called Mr. Boom. Shout out Nick Craven, who directed it. Shout out Jake Fallon, who wrote it.
Jake Fallon. Shout out.
Yeah, that was really, really cool. And a similar situation, like just this awesome, like off the wall play that was like so funny, and it was a brand new play that we put up in New York, and it was funny and very like vulnerable and honest and like heartbreaking and just all the things. And I love that play so much, and the experience of collaboration on that was the same thing. We were really like crafting it together. So I think those are two roles that stick out to me in terms of just really opening my eyes to like what it means to serve a thing and how that should be your goal. That's where your energy should go, you know? And the magic that can happen when like nobody's like, but look at this, look what I can do. And like, I'm going to just grab a hold of this and make it mine, you know?
Everyone's on the same page.
Yeah. And just, and really like no egos and all that stuff. So those are two things that stick out. That's a really good question.
Awesome.
That's really
Is there a role like, it's kind of, I don't know, do you have like a dream role that like you're like, man, like this specific setting, specific thing that I would like that you would want to do?
Yeah. I'd love to do. I'd love to do like some kind of like, you know, everybody wants to be on like Game of Thrones or something.
Yeah.
But like something like that.
Let's talk about it.
No.
The last episode came out.
Yo, what's going on with like these like rappers and artists going on?
No, wait.
Wait, what?
The rappers.
Isn't like the weekend in it? And
La la
like-
la la la.
No, I just saw pictures on like
No, I don't know.
Instagram
I don't know.
stuff.
I have no idea.
I
I
see
didn't see
them,
him
like-
if he was. I don't know.
But have you been seeing on social like Instagram and stuff? It's like the weekend's dressing up and like is in it. Like DJ Khaled was dressed up.
Ed Sheeran was on it.
Well,
That's
I
what I'm
don't know.
saying. Like I don't know. Like I'm like, what is this show?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's like
I
the
don't know.
celebrity episode of Game of Thrones. Like,
That's
I
so
don't know.
funny.
I
all right.
forget.
I don't know anything about.
No, I don't
it.
know. I watched the show. I don't know. I haven't seen.
Well, I haven't watched an episode, so I can't give anything away. I'm just saying.
You seem to have an issue.
Yeah, I know. Right? He's like upset with me. Are you upset with me?
No, I'm not.
Do you? wanna
I'm just
fight?
saying. I don't know. I'm not spoiling.
No,
anything.
I don't. I saw Ed Sheeran on it.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool to see him out there. He was singing. He's doing his thing.
I
Yeah,
think
he's
like
being a
other
bard.
celebrities are getting on it though. Like a lot of like art like singers and
I
like
believe it.
rappers and stuff.
I
was
believe.
like,
I
it's
just. I
weird.
probably wasn't looking out. I feel like I would have saw
Alright,
DJ
whatever
Khaled,
then.
but I didn't.
I saw DJ Khaled fighting someone, dude,
That's awesome.
with a sword.
Really?
But like in the studio, and it's not like the actual show.
Oh.
I'm talking like
Oh.
behind the scenes, like that kind of thing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Like I don't know if it's in the show or not.
What are we talking about?
I don't know, dude.
Is he in the show or is he not in the show?
I don't know. So I'm asking you guys.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I
I'm
don't
only
know.
on season 5.
I didn't see him. I feel like I would have saw him if he was on it. I feel like I would have saw him.
So far behind.
Sorry, man.
That's okay, but like I love like especially stuff that takes place like in like those kinds of places.
Anyways,
like
no.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like I would love to shoot something in Ireland. Ireland's my
Oh,
favorite place in the
yeah.
world.
Yes.
So like that would mean the
I
world
feel
to
like
me.
you need to do that.
I need to, but it's gonna happen absolutely before I die. I've
Yeah.
had a couple of close brushes.
Yeah.
Not yet, but
If you don't,
I will. No.
You don't
Dave,
freaking do this. If you don't sign,
book Vanjie for an Ireland.
So I'm gonna do that, and there are like people I would love to work with. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, I don't think I have like specific kinds of roles, but
Yeah.
like I
The
feel
people.
like if this person gave me any kind of a role, great. It's like that. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
Yeah. But in terms of setting, that's kind of what jumps out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure.
What about you?
What kind of like?
Dave wants to be like the lifeguard that saves someone. That's what you want to be, right?
Yeah, dude, that's what I want to do. Thank you.
Where you run out slowly.
Yeah.
Some Baywatch, David Hasselhoff
Totally.
stuff.
Totally. I want to be the guy.
The guy.
No. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like dream role.
You never thought like, oh man, imagine if I.
There's shit that'd be cool to do. That I feel like that'd be cool.
Or
Like
you saw a movie, you're like, man, I wish I could play that, or like I would want to play that
yeah,
role.
of course. There's I
I
don't
know.
know.
I know one.
What? Go ahead.
Like you act in a role like Charlie Countryman or something.
Oh, done deal.
All day.
Anything with
Done
Shia,
deal.
dude.
So that yeah, totally.
Okay.
Anything to do with like those are the things I gravitate towards though. Those are the
Yeah.
things that we talked about before. Those
Yeah.
kinds of stories, the ones that are like a little bit fantastical, a little bit,
Mhm.
a lot of bit about like, two people and
Mhm.
usually almost missing, in the hope of actively pursuing that thing to not miss. That lives in me. That's like my human thread, and I think all the stories I kind of tell.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so one of those for sure, in any kind of context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get right
That
on board with
that human thread is the thing I'm
Mhm.
usually wanting to tell.
Hell yeah.
In time.
It's like the Rose Garden, man.
It's
Yeah.
exactly like the Rose Garden.
Shout out to
Yep.
the Rose Garden.
Shout out. You were so this is one of the greatest moments of my life actually. I forgot to talk about this. It was involving you. And it was because of the Rose Garden.
What?
So I watched Red.
Oh, right. Of course.
So I watched the film at the festival that year in 2016. I'm driving home that night. I write the Rose Garden that night at like midnight. And it was off of like what I saw in Red, what I saw her do. I was just so inspired. And Jim and everybody. And I remember the next year was in the festival. That's all I wanted to do was get it into that festival. That was it. That was it for me. I just wanted people from our community to see the work that we did and hopefully like accept it.
And you've seen it, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's stunning. Yeah.
Thank you. But it was so we're at the festival. You were there.
Yeah.
You were there?
Yeah.
So Mike was there. Mike was there to watch it.
Why did you never introduce me to him?
I don't know.
I don't
You
know,
guys
dude,
were
you're
you
just,
took off. You took off kind of quick. You watched the film
I
and
took off.
you bounced. No, you guys bounced.
Oh, you always yeah.
Yeah. It's okay.
Okay, all right.
But so the award ceremony happened.
Oh, that's right.
This
I
was
forgot.
for me one of the greatest moments of my life,
Oh.
and it worked out like this. It was the best actor in a drama grand jury, and she was presenting. And
Oh, really?
So Vange was presenting up there in a little dress. I was like, "This is wild!" Like I was bugging out just to be there.
Oh, so you watched the movie
And then the
you
next
you
day
did-
was the awards
and then
ceremony.
oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. And Vange was presenting the
Wow.
awards, and so
That's so
she's reading all the names out, and I'm like, "That's cool, man. This is cool to like fucking just be here." And then like she says my name last, and I'm like, "What? Like, what? That literally
You
never."
didn't know that you were nominated?
No,
Oh my god, that's so
I
funny.
had no idea.
Of course you were nominated.
And
Come
then-
on.
She reads my name, and I run out, and all I remember is like blacking out up until I saw you and hugged you, and I was like, "This is one of the greatest moments of my life," because I was being accepted by the community I care so much about. But then it was like you giving me that award and like
Yeah.
up there for the hug. It was just fucking. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, but it was one of the greatest moments I've ever had in my life.
You know, I specifically requested to present that award.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I was on the committee, so people were presenting like a few different awards, like here and
Yeah.
there, and I was like, I want to do that one.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I give him that one.
Oh my god.
So he was like, sure, and I was like,
That's so awesome.
great. But
That's so
I wanted
cool,
to do
dude.
that. That was so special.
It was beautiful. Thank you for doing that.
I remember I was like, I during the Q&A, I like stood up and I was like, I don't have a question, but I just want to say, I love this movie. That's funny. And I just like made a fool of myself, like blubbering about your movie. Do you remember
Thanks.
that?
Yeah, I do. I do remember that.
Yeah.
We had some special moments in a little amount of time. We had some special moments, but that was one of
That's
the
awesome.
best for sure. That
Aw,
was so cool.
man.
Thank you for that.
Aw,
that was
man.
really nice.
That was really special. We just
yeah.
ran around that festival, like just being like, this is great, but I just love you so much.
Yeah.
Like the whole time,
we related.
we couldn't stop
What the
talking
fuck?
about how much we love each other. And then when we weren't together, we were like, I love Dave so much. I love him. And everyone's like, all right, dude, that's awesome.
We get it, dude.
Yeah.
Carrie's like, yeah, all right,
Okay,
enough.
cool,
enough.
man. Cool.
Shout out Carrie Brennan.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Damn.
Okay.
That's awesome.
It was the shit. It was the shit.
Man, that
It was
is the shit.
If it never happens again, like I had it. You know,
Yeah.
it was cool. You know.
It'll happen again.
I also
Alright.
believe that wholeheartedly.
Anywho. I'm
You got
back in,
another one?
I'm back in my got my signature right here from
I
Evangeline Young.
feel so dumb that I
You
did
guys
that.
want it? I'm selling it. We're gonna start the auction at
Oh my
$500.
Atlanta.
Okay. Did we get all the questions?
Mm-mm.
Which one are we missing?
What about Ricardo's?
I didn't write that one down. So Ricardo asked a question basically saying when your instinct is kind of speaking from people who work from instinct and from their gut, right? I think that's how
Yeah,
it
and
goes.
not just in acting, but like life
life,
in general.
just in
yeah,
life.
yeah.
When your instincts and your gut are pulled in 1,000 different directions, like you can't seem to make the right decision. Like where do you go from there? Like what's the next move? I want to like give an example. Like say you're offered two things.
Uh-huh.
This one thing is like a fantastic cinematography opportunity, and this other thing is like a fantastic like musical opportunity. And like you feel so strongly about both, and your impulses are just ripped in half. What do you do? Like how do you maneuver that situation?
I don't know.
What do you do? Flip a coin? What do you do?
And he was talking to like in a way like your impulses and your instincts are being pulled in a million different directions to a point where like it's hard to hear like what is the thing that's really speaking,
Yeah.
or you feel a little blind to the compass.
Yeah.
He said.
You can't
For
see.
what you said to me was like between like a film role and a music role, it'd be probably like a film role because that's more of my primary
Uh-huh.
kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
So music's the secondary.
So that's
That'd
where
be
your
my
compass
thing.
goes
Yeah,
right
I'd be
away.
like, what's the thing I put first?
Yeah.
You know, when I think about it, what do I put first?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's probably the way I go about
But
it.
what about like when your judgment is a bit skewed, or when you don't have a specific like neon sign in your head saying like that's the one I should be doing, or that's the thing I should do? It's a tough question. I don't know the answer.
It's really tough. I
Maybe
don't
go
know
to
either.
people that. I
That's a
don't
good
know.
idea.
That's
You go
hard
to
too.
your
Yeah.
peers.
I would get a bunch of different, not go to someone for an answer, but go to multiple people for multiple different things.
Yeah.
You know, just
That's
to
fair.
hear more angles.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because I feel like a lot of people will be like, "Oh no, dude, this is like the safe. Like you got to do this."
Gotta
you
do
know, and you're like,
this.
"Oh, okay, yeah." And then like, I don't know.
Somebody will tell you the exact opposite. The
Yeah,
next
yeah,
person
and you're
does
like,
it.
"Wait, what?"
Yeah.
Like, let's say you took that, and then like you told someone like, "Yo, dude, I got this
Yeah.
opportunity," and then you're like, and I had to choose between this, and they're like, "Oh, why didn't you do that?"
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like,
Right.
oh,
I got you.
yeah,
And I'm somebody who like I benefit a lot from talking my thoughts out from other people.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
In addition to like having that quiet time, trying to like listen in to what's happening here, what the compass is saying, but I find it really helpful to talk at. Like, how many times have I
yeah.
called you? It's been like,
Oh,
oh, this is what's happening inside my
yeah.
mind. I really, really benefit a lot from that, and I find that like having sounding boards helps me to get in touch with like the core of what's going on. But I agree with you about like going to different people, and also therapy. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Shout out
Shout out to therapy.
there's nothing wrong with therapy.
That's pretty good. But yeah, you have to know who you are, what matters to you. It's just like
I don't know what that means. No. Just playing, dude. So you caught me at work a few times, kind of getting angry. This brought up something.
Oh,
to me. I don't know why.
yeah.
Yeah,
So Mike's seen me
I've seen that
kind
other
of
side,
snap a few
dude.
times
at work.
at work.
That's why I think I don't know you, dude.
Well, this is the thing, man. I don't know myself too well, because that part of me is a little sketchy, and I try to just avoid whatever's going on under there, under the hood. But when it happens, I'm very embarrassed and like very vulnerable, I realized. So I didn't tell you this before. Vange and I, she came to see a show I did a few weeks ago, a month ago, in the city. And we were walking back towards 42nd Street. And we're just talking on the corner. And I swear to God, like I'm just listening to Vange, so I'm just taking her in, just completely. And all of the sudden, a hand grabs her arm and pulls her. And it took me like a minute to like realize what was happening. But some man just walked up to her, this girl right here, and pulled her by her arm. I was like, I swear it took me like a good 2 seconds. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I couldn't even wrap my mind around your behavior. It was as if like, it was a dream.
Yeah.
It happened so fast. It was like a dream.
Yeah.
And I remember you were like, what's going on here? And then he grabbed me and he pulled me.
He was a homeless guy, and he was like, yeah, he was not.
He must have had some
Yeah.
kind of
He wasn't
Yeah.
mental thing.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I lost my mind completely.
Yeah.
I tried to back us out of there, and we were trapped a little bit on the sidewalk because it was like a construction area. And the guy kept kind of,
Yeah.
walking towards us and then pivoting away and then walking back and trying to talk to us.
Yeah.
And I lost control totally, and I was like screaming in this guy's face, like, I'm going to hit you if you get any closer. Like, I'm going to have to hit you. Like, get the fuck away from us. And screaming it, like, at the top of my lungs.
Yeah.
And I remember I had my hand, like, out, like, my left hand out. And I was, in my mind, I was like, okay, here it comes. Like, I have to hit this guy. But I was seeing red. Like, I wanted to hurt him.
Yeah.
I wanted to, like, put him down.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what he was going to do. And then he said something about God. And for some reason, he's just like, I think he said, God bless or something like that. And I like checked in and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why? But I felt like in a panic. Like I felt like we weren't safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why, like, and when he grabbed her, I was like, that's the first step for me always is like,
Yeah.
if someone I care about's being fucked with in any way. So I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't realize how much control I lost. And the scariest part, to be honest, and I'll be totally honest with you, was when we were walking and like We crossed the street. We left that guy behind us. And I couldn't, like, hear you. You know what I mean? Like,
You're
I
just
was
drowning in your thoughts.
I was just drowning in my thoughts,
Yeah.
obsessively, like, thinking about what could have happened, what I was going to do. And then, like, just cursing out loud. Like, screaming like a crazy person. Like, I just remember saying, like, what, you know, oh, I
Yeah.
wish, you know what I mean? Like, crazy shit. And it took me a minute. It took me like a good 5 minutes to just kind of reset and go back to neutral. And I've done that before. That's happened to me a few times.
Yeah.
And I remember being so embarrassed because I never let that out with you around. You know, that's a little sis. You know, like
Yeah.
I would never, in my mind, like ever want you to see that. And I just remember feeling like flush, like embarrassed, dude. Sucks. And I don't like that part of myself at all. I just don't. I don't know. Therapy probably. I haven't done it.
I think everybody should do therapy.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
Yeah, I hear that a
I do.
lot.
I do.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
do
me
I.
too.
Everyone who does it says like you. Really, honestly, everyone should do this.
Dude, I think it's just. I
A
think.
ton of my friends do it.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Is that like that's like a part you can't control, right? Like for you,
Well, but you did control it.
I did. I didn't hit him.
up to a certain point.
There's a
until
part of me
something
that
happened.
anything can happen in that point.
Yeah.
Like right now, if I'm like as I am now, and you like slap me, I wouldn't punch you. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. But like in that kind of like at a bar or if someone's
Yeah.
you know fucking with somebody that I give a shit about, it's like I fall into it without even knowing it.
Yeah. You like something happens where like a switch is just flipped for you. I don't know what happens, but it just happens.
I think it just honestly like where I come from and like
It's honestly it's not coming from like a bad place because
I'm not starting shit with anybody.
Yeah, no. Like something happened.
I will never like point at somebody like you. Like, you know?
The crazy
Fuck
eyes.
you. Yeah, no, I would never do that. I would never do that.
You have good intentions.
Yeah,
You're
but
trying to
it's,
protect little sis
yes,
in that situation.
yes.
The stuff at her job, you're trying to protect. You're a protector.
You know, like we were fine. Like it would have been
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
Like he kind of like he was
Yeah.
doing weird shit and like trying to get closer to us, and I was like scared and I didn't want anything to happen to you, and I was just nervous.
Yeah.
And so that was like, okay, you're just gonna have to hurt this man and get us both out of here. And thank God, like honestly, like I don't know what happened, but he said God bless, and it like just like
Yeah.
the light came on for a second. I was like, oh shit, okay, and then we kind of left, but it's still I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
just a scary thing. I don't know. Is there things like that with you where like you realize the operating system that you have that you've got since you were a kid, like is there things you slip into that you're like, fuck, I wish I didn't do that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
Like what?
I mean, for me, it's like with relationships. Like that's I don't know.
Relationships.
I just get like. I just feel like I go crazy. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. Like how so?
Kind of like I don't know, like in my head thinking, like having like kind of creating this picture
Uh-huh.
of what this relationship is with this person,
Sure.
and then kind of like always looking to that, like it's kind of like a perfect picture,
Like a reference
almost.
piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As like, oh, if this isn't happening, then I'm like, something's wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But honestly, sometimes it's just like people have weird days, people don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like what I don't understand.
For sure.
Yeah.
I got you, dog.
Mm-hmm.
That's real.
Weird. Yeah.
That's real. 'Cause
Crazy.
You have this image.
Yeah.
And it's like
And I try to always fit every like
right.
And if something's not right like that, I'm like something's wrong. Like something's going
yeah.
down.
So then you're obsessively thinking
Yeah.
like something's going
Yeah.
terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ever like insecure?
I'm like, oh, this is my fault. Like I did something.
Right. So it's on you
Yeah.
too. It's never like on the other person. It's, it's your fault. Got you.
Mhm.
Got you.
I think
Good
that's-
intentions again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you just want to
Yeah.
create this great relationship. So this is the
Yeah.
picture of it. This is what it is,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll serve that.
Yep.
But it's to your detriment
Mm.
because then you're obsessively thinking like what's not fitting.
Yep.
And then you can overexert. Then you could kind of like drive the person away.
Exactly.
I feel you. I feel you totally.
Especially if it doesn't have anything to do with you at all.
Especially, I mean, I don't
That's
think
the
it
worst.
does.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I
That's
think
the
it really
worst.
does.
Yeah. That's the quick.
'Cause you're a good
I get
Dude.
invested, dude.
Yeah.
Like I'm
yeah.
100%.
Which is
in.
good. It's good.
It's good and bad.
Yes.
You
You're gonna
know?
get hurt.
It's gotta be the balance.
Yeah, man.
Working on it.
That's gonna be like the tagline for this episode.
I was just
Working on it.
thinking like you could make that like the subcategory or the subheading of the title of the podcast. It's like you are here, parentheses, working on it.
Yeah, just working on it. How you doing? How's everything? Just working on it.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
answer, you know?
Sometimes that's the only answer you
Instead
can
of
give.
like, good, working on it.
Yeah.
I like that.
I kind of like that.
I do too.
It's pretty honest, right?
Feels
What
good.
about you now? What if there, or you're just fucking all. You can sing, you can act, you can dance, you can do
Anything.
fucking black belt karate, dude.
Really? No way.
Well, Taekwondo.
Taekwondo. So try something.
No.
Yeah, you would have been fine. You would have been fine that night. You would have been completely
I've been
fine.
better than
We
you
would have been
did.
fine because he wasn't gonna do anything. But you know.
If he did something, you would have been totally.
She mapped
fine.
out the whole foot.
She knew
in her
it.
head.
You Sherlock Holmes that whole thing. You planned where to strike, where to move.
Dude, no. First of all, I'm very rusty. Haven't done it for a few years, but yeah, that was yeah.
Yeah,
That
but
shit.
go ahead. Sorry.
That's no, dude.
I keep cutting you off.
That's all right. Yeah, just don't let it happen again.
Okay, gotcha.
So,
Don't let it
happen
happen
again.
again.
Fine. So your question was like, what are there things like?
Like the way you operate in life that you've noticed, those things that you're clocking about yourself, the way.
What do you hate about
No,
yourself?
not hate, but like things that you just wish you handled in different ways, like you operate, like your instincts were a little bit different.
Yeah.
Is there anything like that for you or no?
Think
And
it's
it's
a
fine. if there's not.
recurring thing too, you know.
Yeah, recurring things. If there isn't,
Yeah.
it's cool.
You always notice, like, man, I did that.
No,
Yeah.
there certainly are. Hence, therapy. I love it. I can't say it enough, man.
Yeah.
I literally can't say it
Shout
enough.
out.
Literally can't say it enough. Yeah, there are. Sometimes I can be a little bit like at the mercy of my like feelings and emotions.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And
What does that mean?
Nope.
I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, we don't have to get into specifics, but we yeah, just like I feel things really, really strongly,
Right.
and
Right.
like sometimes like, but it's also interesting because I also like I have this thing where I like try to like never lose control of my emotions, but like with another person,
Right.
but internally I can. Yeah, just like be at the mercy of like things that I feel so strongly, and it clouds
Yeah.
judgment, and it affects my opinion of myself. It affects my ability to like see a situation clearly. So I think that's something that especially like I've been learning a lot about myself, and it's really hard. I think that's a really common thing though to have a really hard time like ejecting yourself enough from a situation to be able to see it clearly outside of that. But I can just, it's like a Venus flytrap, you just like, get
Yeah.
swallowed up in that. So that's one thing, you know.
Gotcha.
That's what comes to my mind right now.
Yeah.
But there are things all the time.
Yeah.
Again, therapy, you're just like constantly self-evaluating. But that's the one thing that jumps straight to my mind.
Cool. Awesome.
Does that make sense?
It does
no,
make
for sure.
sense.
Yeah.
It makes total
Thanks
sense.
for sharing.
Thanks for
Thanks for
asking.
being
I
a little
can't relate.
open.
I can see what you're talking about.
Personally, I don't understand anything you're saying, but good luck with that.
I'm way too
working
cool.
on it.
I'm way too cool to feel things deeply.
Damn. Yeah, you
That's
feel
gonna-
things the most.
Not true.
Yeah.
She feels things pretty deeply too.
That's
Yeah.
another way that we're similar.
Yeah.
Oh.
What if that was written on your gravestone?
He felt things deeply.
No.
Yo,
No,
that's
no.
funny. Pretty
No,
funny.
no. Felt things too deeply and he killed him.
I can't believe that's gonna happen.
No, it's not.
Remember what I told you? I was like, dude,
Whoa.
this play
I know, bro.
is gonna kill me. It's
But
gonna
it's
be
not.
the death of me, but it's not.
It's not, right? Because
not.
what are we doing? Working on it.
Working on it. Is that gonna be on the? Is that
Yeah.
on the tombstone? Working on it.
Working on it.
I want
the
that to be
title
on
of
my
it.
tombstone, dude.
No, but
Oh,
I was
working
gonna
on
joke
it.
that you
Working on. What does that even mean?
No, it's a
Dead.
work in progress, man. Working on it.
that what was gonna be carved on your tombstone was he was too cool to feel things deeply.
I love it. I love it. He was too cool to feel things too deeply.
But you're
It's
working
funny.
on it.
I'm working on it, dude.
We're all working on it.
Yeah, man.
And our audience is working on things too. So if anyone has a problem,
Always.
you know,
Always.
I haven't really got anything recently,
That's okay.
but like I
Like
know
reach
someone's out
out
there.
to people.
Yeah,
You know what?
yeah,
Well,
for sure.
I'm gonna say this. I did the question thing this week. One of my things I do on Instagram, and someone was having a tough week, and this person reached out. That person reached out and said they answered the question. I asked the question, if you had a time machine, where would you go? And the person answered the question back before I was born, and make it not happen. So they're having thoughts about like not wanting to be alive at all.
Mhm.
This other person reached out to that person, which was one of the coolest things I've ever fucking seen. I'm just gonna try and find it real quick.
Yeah.
because it was awesome.
Dude, that.
Here it is.
Oh, here we go.
Here it is. So this person said to that person, to a time in life. So where would you go if you had a time machine? To a time in life where the person who said they wish they were never born felt like they were worth more than those ugly words. To a time when they felt loved and it made them a better person for it. To the last time they laughed hard. If I had a time machine, I would take them there.
Oh, wow.
God damn it.
Wow.
That's
pretty cool,
Yeah.
man.
So whoever said that, that person's got you.
yeah, man. I think
That's such a like I don't know that it's such a. It's crazy because you could never like picture feeling like that, you know, like what you must feel or go through
listen,
to
man,
get to that.
there's I've had times where like and people have reached out to me that have said like I think it's very human to feel like I want to close it up for like a day
Yeah.
and not feel anything, not be here. I think it's a human thing. I talked about that before, like, and the only way I think out of that place is the place you don't want to go, which is like to another person,
Yeah.
like therapy, like asking for help. I don't know, but I want to say like the fact that that person was moved to do something about it
Mm-hmm.
just by, that beautifully put answer.
Yeah.
That person saw that, I get so fucked up about it, man. I don't know, because I really do value life, I think, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about this before. Like, I see a lot in people. It's hard for me to see for myself, but like I could see it in other people vividly. And it's just there's I can't think of an eloquent way to put it, but like we've got some time here, to just really enjoy whatever's at our feet, what we're given and what we can go get, and what we could share with each other. And when someone is suffering and wishing like they didn't have it anymore, like it should be kind of our job to say like, doors open. If you want to come through it, that's on you, man. But like, to that person, I know struggles with that a lot. The door's open.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not judging anybody. I'm not trying to judge nobody. I don't, I fucked around and said the thing I was messed up with about.
Yeah.
That's hard. I don't like doing it. It doesn't feel good, but I felt so much better after doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I was heard by somebody.
Yep.
I felt embraced. I felt like renewed a bit. And things change because they always do. Emotions are fleeting. They pass through us. It's like weather.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They don't stay. Move a muscle, change a thought. Shout out Adam Louder for that.
Amen.
Yeah.
Who is Adam Louder?
This guy,
Oh, I don't know, but sounds like,
he's kind of acts sometimes, I guess.
Sounds like a prophet.
Fucking.
Sounds like a prophet.
Yeah. Yeah. But sorry for bringing it down.
No. You know what?
That was a big thing.
We're going to bring it up
Bring it on.
for the last question of the podcast.
Wow, how long have we been doing this?
It's been an hour 30.
Wow, it doesn't even feel like that.
Bro, I have a question from my brother.
Oh.
A video question.
No way. No way.
I think you're gonna.
Shout
I think you're gonna
Sebastian
like this.
Nowicki.
I think you're gonna.
What's his handle again?
Seabass Nowicki
Seabass Nowicki.
on Instagram.
Seabass with 2 S's?
Nah, bro.
Seabass
One
1
S.
S. C as in the ocean.
I gotta find this
SEA.
though.
BASNOWICKI.
Nice.
I used to be a really good speller. I think I am still a good speller. 3rd grade spelling bee took the bronze.
Bro, I think I got the bronze in like my
Took the
5th grade spelling
bronze.
bee.
Stop.
I was such a good speller. I think I still am too. Let's have a spelling bee sometime.
We're related.
We are related. I think we're the same.
Wow.
Also, I just want to go back to what you were saying, like you being so moved by that exchange and just the care, like the really genuine care of like one stranger to another. Doesn't that just mess you up?
It's fucking.
Isn't that beautiful?
It's the most beautiful thing in the world.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. It just starts from like asking a question.
Yeah.
And then someone feels like they can actually share in a safe place. And then another person says like, I understand, but I feel this way and I think this will help. It's just fucking beautiful. It's people helping people. I don't know. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is this the question?
Yeah. Kind of funny.
Oh God.
Oh, we gotta put it up.
Oh, you're lowering it. You're lowering
Oh,
it.
dude, I'm messing it up. Oh no.
What's happening, Mike?
Damn it. I'm sorry.
God.
I'm gonna put the video.
There's always this like a little
Yeah,
part
dude,
where
I
we
always-
fuck up technically.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Sebastian coming to you from across the Pacific. I just had a quick question for the podcast today. Here it goes. What's your favorite song or a song that may hold a lot of meaning to you or had a deep impact on your life? Music is a powerful thing and it brings us together.
Oh yeah.
Makes you feel certain emotions, right? So
Yeah.
just wanted to hear your experience and what were you doing when you first heard that song and
Wow.
Super fun.
what is its meaning to you?
Whew.
So, we'd love to hear you guys' responses.
It's got a candle, bro.
Keep up the great work with the podcast. I look forward to it on a weekly basis.
My
Love
God.
listening to it when I get out of work or when I'm cooking dinner. It's always a great experience and a great ride.
Ah, it's so
And,
cool.
appreciate you guys always being really open and there for people. So, keep it up. You are here, Ride or Die crew, for life. Peace out.
Bang bang.
Dude, that's awesome.
Ride or Die crew. what
Ride or
up?
die crew.
Dude,
Ride or
your
die
brother's
crew.
I love my
the
brother.
shit.
Oh, he's the best. Dude, seeing his face again made me so
I
fucking
know,
sad
right?
because I miss him.
Sad.
I miss
I
him.
miss him, bro.
Oh, dude, I miss you.
You should have
I
him on
miss
here.
him.
Dude, if you're listening.
One day. He's in Japan.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
I hope,
Whoa, excuse me.
That's what.
yeah, he's in Japan.
That's amazing.
I hope you're
Yeah.
cooking up some nice
He's
food
killing it, man.
and thank
He's
you
killing
so
it.
much for that, dude.
That's the
so
first
cool,
video
man.
question, bro.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you, Sebastian. That means, oh, dude, that means so much.
Are you gonna include that on the video?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
put it
yeah,
up.
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
put it up for sure.
Oh, your brother, man. I love him. Damn.
I love
I'm
him too,
crushing
man.
on your brother. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
That's awesome.
Go
I
ahead,
gotta go
man.
first.
Yeah.
All right, I just got.
You're the guest, man.
Oh yeah,
God.
that's a big question.
No,
Wow,
it is.
I don't
You're-
even know
so-
mine. What is mine?
Do you not know? I'm gonna think of mine too.
All right, let's all just take a second.
Oh no.
This is a good question.
This is a hard
So,
one.
what is
Can
your
I-
favorite song or a song that has a lot of meaning to you, and where were you when
Yes.
when you first
Yeah.
heard it?
Where do you?
What were you gonna do?
No. I'm still thinking. Don't push me. Don't push me. Don't push me to answer.
If anything, I can cut us to when we think of it.
No. Don't cut. This is real. This is a moment.
We are here now.
God, there's so many meaningful fucking
Dude, I
songs.
forgot everything.
Oh, I got it.
I just want you to know if it's not one of my songs, I'm gonna be offended. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just
I
kidding.
mean,
Evangeline Young.
I feel
I
like-
mean,
Tree Bark.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I was crying.
Remember when she sang it?
Go go.
So Rod Stewart, Maggie.
Oh,
You
know that song?
Yeah.
So it's my mother's favorite song, and my mother used to sing it in the car on the way to like kindergarten. And I remember those trips to like back and forth to school with my mom, and we would just like listen to Dire Straits or Rod Stewart. But like Maggie was like the song for some reason with me. Like when she sang it out loud, I was like transfixed on my mother. Like I was like, this woman's so beautiful. Like
Wow.
yeah. So Maggie is like the song when I hear it, I think of my mother right away. As like a young woman, like
Yeah.
driving me to school like that. I love those mornings. You know what I mean?
That's beautiful.
So that's the song. Yeah.
That is beautiful.
That's one of them.
Right on. You got yours?
I have one that's like, I feel like there's one better, but like, I'll just tell this
You
one
can
because I
tell
can't think of it. If I think of it, I'll tell
Yeah,
it. But this was when I was studying abroad, in Japan.
Yeah.
My brother went a year before me, and
Not bragging.
not bragging at all, dude.
Yeah, it's
It
pretty
was a
alright,
straight up
alright.
exchange. I'm still paying it off. So don't give me anything. All right. But basically, I was listening to a lot of Frank Ocean while I was over there. The
I've
one
been
song.
thinking about you. Is
Alright.
that one?
No, not that,
Okay.
man.
Damn.
Who do you think I am? The song "Lost" by him.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I don't
know
know
that
why. I don't know what it is, but
Do you remember a time?
yeah. So I would go on a lot of like this was I was obsessed with like taking like time lapses and like pictures. I would go out like 3 a.m, like all night, riding my bike just around the city streets of Japan, like just like little countryside places, taking my camera, sitting there all night, you know. And I remember I was just like riding and like my bike down like a big hill, and I was just like coasting, like no one was on the road, like a nice breeze, just like going.
Yep.
And like the song was playing, and like the song's about being like lost in. The lyrics are pretty straightforward. It's like lost in the heat of it all.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, it just fit so
It clicked
perfectly.
so well when you
Yeah,
were
it's
in
one
that
of my favorite songs.
Mm.
I love it.
And it like imprints itself on you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That's
Like I
forever.
always think of it like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you flash back to that moment every time
Yeah.
you hear it? Yeah.
Yeah, every
Yeah.
time.
yeah.
It's amazing
Close
how
my
music
eyes.
does that.
Oh yeah, brings you right back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's me.
How about you, Angie?
Right on. Yeah, I have a ton. I mean, music is so hugely,
Yep.
so huge. But the one that jumps to my mind is this song. You guys know who Leonard Cohen is?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, like a ton of my influences I get from my mom because we used to, and my dad too. But my mom and I spent a lot of time like singing together and stuff like that. And I don't remember the first time I ever heard this song. It's called Suzanne. Have you ever heard it?
No.
I think it's one of the most beautiful songs ever written, in my humble opinion. It's incredible, and the first time I heard it was probably like hearing my mom sing it. I don't remember exactly when I first heard it, but my mom is just an incredible musician. And the song is about this woman, Suzanne. It's about a lot of things. It's hard to even describe, but the song describes this kind of woman who's very like magical and in touch with just like the world around her, and is kind of like this transcendent being. And like the last verse of the song is Suzanne takes you down to her place near the river. She's wearing rags and feathers from Salvation Army counters, and the sun pours down like honey on Our Lady of the Harbor, and she shows you where to look among the garbage and the flowers. There are heroes in the seaweed. There are children in the morning. They are leaning out for love, and they will lean that way forever while Suzanne holds the mirror. That's the last verse of the song. And it messes me up so
Sounds like
bad.
a poem, dude.
Yeah, he was an
Straight up.
incredible poet. He also wrote a bunch of poetry, but I associate that song with my mom a lot because she loves it, and she's kind of like a Suzanne for me in different ways,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
even to she would like shop at Salvation Army and everything. So it's like
Wow,
it means a
wow,
lot
wow.
to me, that
Yeah.
song, and because she means a
Wow.
lot to me. So
Damn. Oh man.
there you go.
What are I'm gonna keep this podcast going because I keep having questions to ask you. What are some things about your mother and your father that like you see, like, let's narrow it down to like one thing each.
Mm.
What are some things about your mother and your father that like you feel are like instilled in you, like qualities, things that you took away from your mother and father?
Wow, great.
And I'm gonna ask
question.
you the same thing, Mike.
Me?
And then you're gonna
Oh,
answer
So
no.
it.
get ready. Yeah, sure.
Are you anxious about time?
Yeah, what's up, dude?
No.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of
Oh,
of one
you're
thing.
thinking.
I don't know.
You see what I mean? What I said before?
No,
You see what I'm
What?
talking about?
no.
No, I'm thinking
we
of
talked
one.
about
I'm
this.
thinking. I don't know
We
one
talked
thing
about
this.
from
He's
each person.
thinking.
Okay.
It's hard.
We're all doing great.
It's hard.
We're all doing
Okay.
great.
I'm sorry.
Come on,
I
dude.
apologize.
It's okay.
I'm gonna ask you. Don't forget.
Yeah, he's gonna have to answer.
That's fine.
Cool question.
Wow.
No, I really mean it. I
Okay,
really
okay.
mean it.
Okay.
Oh man, my dad. I think. Hopefully, like he's just such a. Like he has the biggest heart and like really like the stuff that his kids, like me and my siblings, do. He's just takes such incredible joy in like what they do and what we do, and is just incredibly loving and I hope that, like, I and also gratitude. I'll say that gratitude. Yeah, he's an incredibly loving person, but he's incredibly grateful, and
you got that for sure.
yeah, I think I really, that's one thing I feel like I'm very in touch with, or I try to remind myself of, and you're obsessed with that too.
Yeah,
I think gratitude is so important, and is kind of like this magic thing, and so I definitely got that from him. From my mom. She's just crazy, man. I think, like, definitely, like, love of music from both of my parents, but I think just like an openness to, like, being able to question things, and she always was so specifically encouraging about being yourself and, like, doing the thing that gives you joy and that brings you life, and, like, as long as you're doing that, like, great, you know?
Yeah.
And that was a gift she gave me, and that's something I say to people a lot and try to remind myself of, just like that follow that joy. That's at least that's something I really try and, like, live by and pay attention to and stay alive to. And just, she's very openness. Like, she is very in touch with, like, just the mysteries around her, and like is so okay with that. And I think I got that from her too, like that seeking kind of nature.
yeah,
you know, I think
definitely.
I got from her. I tried to have anyway. So that's my answer.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can see both of those.
Yeah.
All of those.
Cool.
Damn. For me, definitely from my dad, I got, like, straight the work ethic is, like,
Totally.
completely, like, my dad's been working, like, every day for 30 years, like, doesn't stop. And, like, you know, when he had me and my brother, like, he would have extra jobs on the weekend just to, you know, do whatever. So definitely that, like, I always want to work, always want to do things, and also kind of, like, his morals too, of, like, I don't know, if you like the kid that I helped, like, if you see someone and is in need of something, you know, like, you help them, you know what I mean, you do it. And, like, I don't know, like, giving to, like, others, you know, always have some, like, if you see someone that another thing that, like, kind of moved me when it's just something little, but I was driving with him, like, back to here, and there was, like, a homeless guy, like, that was, like, walking through the what's it called, like, through the at the stoplight through the lanes. And he's like, oh, this guy always comes here, and, like, he rolled down the window and was, like, talking to him. He's like, hey man, what's going on? And he gave him, like, some money and, like, was talking to him. He's like, yeah, he always comes around. He's like, I think he's good. He's a good guy or whatever.
Yeah.
And he would just give him stuff. He's like, oh, I'm not giving you 5 today. Like, something like that. I don't know. Just like that, like, just those kinds of, like, morals, like,
man.
wanting to help others. Even though he's very, like, kind of like me, very, like, serious. Like, I don't know, like, as a front, like,
Right.
when I first meet someone, like, more, like, serious and
Totally.
direct. But having that side, you know,
Yeah.
and, like, opening up like that. For my mom, definitely, like, artistically and stuff, like, I'm so surprised about how, with music, how, like, we just, like, connect on songs.
Really?
And she's very, like, when she hears a song, she's like, she gets really, like, into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, I feel the same way. And we all like the same music too. It's really weird.
Yeah.
So we always show each other
Wow.
different things. It's cool.
Isn't that so special?
Yeah,
I have that
I
thing
love
with my
it.
mom too. Yeah, it's really
It's fun.
cool. It's really cool, man.
I had
Really
the same
fun.
thing with my mother with, like, music early on.
Yeah.
I remember, like, watching music videos with my mother,
Oh yeah.
like, before school, like, little, like, I don't know what it was on what television show, but, like, I remember, like, sitting at the edge of her bed, like, and we would just watch. She'd be putting makeup on, and, like, we'd watch a music video, like Love Shack or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Some old music video, and I was like, man, this is so cool. Like, yeah. So that was one thing for sure. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing that I notice I'm like with my my father is the way my father, like your father, treats people. My father and gives. My father's very willing to like give you the shirt off his back. I've seen him do it a million times to his friends and to people he doesn't really know. He's just so generous with his time and he just puts other people first. And I noticed that a lot. He does that in life. And his work ethic is also through the roof. And I hope that mine can like match his. But I can see like the way I tend to put people before myself a lot. Sometimes to my detriment, and his too, for him. But I definitely like would rather do that than, I don't know, not.
Yeah.
But it's all about balance. But that's one thing for sure with my father that I'm proud of. And then my mother, I think with my mother, she's like this open heart. My mom, she's just like a. I don't know how to describe her other than like, there's a youthfulness to her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's 55 and she's like got this youth about her.
Yeah.
Where she's always gonna be like that. She's always gonna be taking in the world with like this new eye and like treating. She used to tell me as a kid like, you don't treat anyone any different than you would treat me. Like, you always got to love people and you always got to take care of people. And I would see her do it, like, by example. Like, if we're at a restaurant, like, she would make the waitress sit down with us and, like, have a conversation with us and talk to her and she had relationships everywhere she went. Like, I don't know. But I think the way my mom takes the world in, she with nature and with people and that youthfulness, I think I have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm really grateful for, because that's always going to keep me like young, and like I think that feeds my artistry a lot, and I'm very grateful to my mom for that. Yeah. So that's my answer. That's it.
That's really special.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, dude.
Oh man. Well, guys,
Wait a second. Don't do it.
come on.
Don't do it.
I know, Dave. I know. I'm sorry.
Don't do
I'm
it.
sorry, Dave.
Because we
Come
only
on.
get this one time, man.
Dude, it's almost 2
You
hours.
Are Here podcast.
It's almost.
You want to
2
go for 3?
hours. Nobody's gonna
There's
listen.
not.
to it.
We can talk about so much more.
I know.
You know what? You know what's gonna happen?
What?
We're gonna have Evangeline back.
Okay.
Yeah. Whoa. That was humiliating.
Oh no. It's fine. We're good. Everything's good.
I would love
okay.
to come back anytime.
Did you have a good time?
Yes, I had a great time. This was
Cool.
super fun, and I love talking to you guys. And it felt like a continuation of just the day we've
Yep.
been
Yeah,
having, of
yeah.
just more
Yep.
conversations. And
Hell yeah.
this was great.
I
Thank
know
you.
every time this happens too, like I go home and the next morning I'm like, why didn't I ask that question? Why didn't I? So we'll bring you back.
Next time,
For sure.
We'll
man.
bring you
I would
back.
love that.
Check out her album. It's on.
Yes.
So where can we get the album?
Yeah, so it's called Splinters, and it's on all the
Bandcamp,
places.
right?
But it's on Spotify. It's
Oh,
on
it is.
iTunes,
It's
on
and-
everything.
Yeah,
That's
it's
right.
on everything.
Yes.
So
Everything.
That's why I sent it to you.
So
Spotify.
Evangeline
Music.
Young,
Evangeline Young, Splinters.
Splinters.
Yeah, and
And you got a short film in the works.
yeah, that I'm
Yes.
writing. So yeah, be on the lookout for that too.
Yeah, we'll
and-
promote that.
Is there anywhere where we can find anyone can find you online?
Yeah. On
Insta,
Instagram,
Twitter.
I'm just
Plug it
Evangeline
up.
Grace Young.
Evangeline Grace Young.
Yeah,
There we go.
and on Facebook too. It's that same thing. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Hell
Phone
yeah.
number.
Yeah, address, my social security
Social
number,
security, go ahead.
anything you want. I'd be happy to personal address. Yeah, happy to give it.
Well, guys,
Episode
that
13.
was episode 13 of the You Are Here podcast. My name's Mike.
My name's Dave.
Dave,
Oh,
you're
now
supposed
do
to
I
take
get to
the
introduce
reins,
myself?
Dave.
Oh, I do?
And this is Evangeline.
No,
You
no,
can
she's.
Bro, you said you were going to take the reins over on the podcast,
But
but
this is the
now
last-
I'm taking over
Oh,
again, dude.
jeez.
But you guys didn't let me introduce myself in the beginning, so now
She
I get
she
to
has
say
an
it?
outro. That's what I'm
You
saying.
can say it.
my name is Evangeline.
So wait a second. You
That
didn't
was
even say
too low.
You didn't say your outro though. You didn't say your outro though. You didn't do it.
All right. We'll restart. All right, guys. That was the You Are Here podcast, episode 13. My name's Mike.
And
No, we go through the name.
Oh.
Oh, my God,
No, wait.
bro.
am I wrong?
You can find the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We got the video on YouTube. We got Podbean. We got
It's this room, man.
Castbox,
It's like a
Earworm,
prison here, dude.
Earworm,
It's like an insane-
Earworm, www.youwereherepodcast.co. My name is Mike, and I am signing out.
My name's Evangeline.
Oh, she messed up this.
My name is Dave, and I love y'all. You jumped me, but it's okay.
I'm sorry.
Whoa. Whoa, dude.
I was just trying to get it in because I.
You got to end this podcast now.
Yeah.
It's collapsing. The room's collapsing.